Let's minimize that.
There we are. Look at this crazy hype train. Level 5 at 73%. Thank you to a few more. I think I missed a couple more of these.
Can it go to hype train level 6?
It
This is to go even further beyond.
It's almost
sorry, I love
5.
Dragon Ball Z too much.
So for it to go level 6, it would have to be level 5 at over 200%. Which we've done before. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was pretty sure it's Kingmaker that one time went level 5 and it was over 1,000%.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. So all the way to level 5 and then over 1,000%.
Was that during the Flumphening?
No, that one was like
it
600 something percent. Yeah. No, but the Flumphening. Yeah. But
I
can't remember when it was.
I finally got the Flumpy emote and everything in. I'm going to get everything uploaded because obviously today I'm working from 6 a.m. till about 1 a.m. So not today, but tomorrow I'm going to try to get all my new emotes uploaded so we can finally have like emotes. And I finally got the Flump one in, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah,
that is awesome. I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because like again, when they come over 3 months later, it loses the joke. It loses the oomph of having the
I don't
flump,
think the flump will ever lose the oomph with us, though.
Yeah, with us.
It's literally in the name.
Yeah, flump.
I hope when you upload that emote, you call it Daelric Flumph, but with a capital double OOMPH.
Oomph. Well, it's funny too because I'll send it to you later on so you can see it, Neil. But anyways, good morning, everybody. I'm here. I was awake on time. I woke up at 5:51 a.m. So it gave me 9 minutes to set up. So that was fine. And then I realized I didn't have headphones.
Let me just fact check this, right? So the call went up at 1 minute before it needed to be up.
Yep. And we were live at exactly 6 a.m.
And while we were live at exactly 6 a.m., it took Scott probably another good 7 minutes before he actually appeared on camera.
Excuse me. My camera may have been turned off, but I was here and then eventually realized, I don't have headphones. And I got my headphones and came back before all the PCs were here. So I win. The last PC I wasn't here yet. They were like, I don't see a call. I'm just going to assume he's sleeping.
Oh my God.
Fair assumption. Jesus, thank you, Vsort.
Oh.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so who wants to...
We're going to reveal the secret level 5 hype train.
What's the secret level 5 hype train?
We go and we kill Regicide.
Oh. They might be coming.
We need another 7 or 8 levels before.
Yeah, that's part of the hype train.
They need to stop leveling.
No, don't worry. It's part of the hype train. It's like it's not like we go and we fight Regicide. You know, it's like we go and each of us is effectively level 20 Pathfinder, and
my God,
it's like Norway level justice. You know.
At level 20 Pathfinder, you all have AC 52, and they're like, yeah, but I have a +7 chance to hit.
Tink.
We got a parrot.
You got a parrot?
I know.
That's quite amusing, actually. I didn't get anything, though, so actually, I'm the real stooge here. I was about to laugh at you for getting a parrot, but I suppose that's karma.
Yeah. Carmen San Diego. So, you guys, who wants to remind where we left off, just because...
I'll do it because the rest of you are all fucking incompetent. No, I don't mean that. So we
apparently one of us is. Oh, there he's back.
Can you get me the map of Aurorum up, please?
You mean of Paradel?
No, of Aurorum, because we're not in Paradel.
Darn it! I added a random R.
Where I go to Paradel?
Paradurl.
Harry.
Paradurl.
Paradurl. We left Paradel, and we took a boat down to Yvonne's. I'm not sure of the name of the city because my character just wouldn't care. So, and we learned something about the social structure as it exists in Yvonne's. And we went about getting some fake papers which would certify us as traders. Thank you very much. So I believe we're in RK, aren't we? The capital.
Yeah, you're going to be heading up into RK. Yeah, I think I said
We're in the dock.
Are we in
we're gonna be
the are we in
heading
the
into
port
Arcade.
city? Yeah, we're in the one below that I can't be able to zoom in more, but it's got a longer name.
Yeah, that we I
Scott
can't zoom in.
And we're heading up
Scott
to Arcade probably next. And then beyond that, it's probably theorized that we're going to travel all the way up the rivers to the final city and then make our way on foot or horse to Renetslav, where we are attending the coronation of the new prince and where we are attempting to find out what happened to the last prince and prevent anything untoward happening from the new prince. And the new prince's name was what, Scott?
Oh, they didn't announce it yet.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
No, but it's Kringle, right?
Well, they didn't announce it yet.
Look, it has to be Kringle because that's like the biggest kick in the teeth to Regicide, isn't it? They're like, "Good job, you put another Kringle in power."
But it can't be. They can't have the actual last name Kringle.
It has to be
an offshoot.
Whatchamacallit. They have them in Japan, like they have the main family and then like the little, I can't remember what they're called. Branch family. That's it. Branch family.
Yeah, like branch families. There you go. That works. Yeah, because of the way that the laws work. Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to be.
If Joey was awake in here, Joey would be like, actually, according to page.
We're going to be making our way through Yvonce this session. So buckle yourselves in for a lot of exposition from Scott. You want to know what type of sandals the nobles wear? You're going to find out. Hopefully, it will be smooth sailing. We're going as a couple of mercs and a trader.
Yeah. One of the things I do want to point out is, as Norway just pointed out in chat, real fakes. Because they were actually made with the appropriate stamps, the appropriate paper, so on and so forth. The only things that could potentially be seen
real
as
paperwork with just fraudulent.
Correct. So the only thing that could be seen as off is the signature that was put at the bottom. If the person wasn't able to do a proper signature at the bottom, but you can imagine they're pretty damn good at doing it. But if somebody was able to detect it was the wrong signature, or if they find you with your other paperwork, the paperwork that you already had for who you really are traveling through the area. So that being said, with your actual like real documentation that you would have gotten when you came into the port, what would you have done with it? Because none of you guys have extra dimensional space that you store stuff inside, or anything incredibly sneaky like that. What would you have done with all of the actual paperwork, if you will?
That's a good point. Do we have any hidden compartments or any of that stuff in any of our gear?
I mean, getting I'm just
asking.
I say this meaning relatively, but getting your hands on, say, like boots and whatnot that have the actual hidden compartments inside of the like the heel of the boot, the shoe, whatever it is that run along the sole of the shoe. That's not that hard to do. You can definitely get your hands on stuff like that. It just costs a little bit of gold. They're called smuggler's boots.
That's not a bad idea.
Those boots, I remember them well.
yeah, right.
It's not a bad idea because if I get the smuggler's boots, I can always crystal over them in combat, so there's less likely to get damaged.
That's a good idea. I mean, I was going to say just tuck them into our boots because in Scott's world, nobody takes people's boots.
Yeah,
so we would have been fine. But we'll
I
get you a
forgot
pair of
about
smuggler's boots.
Because it was a non-important detail. Of course you forgot about it. Anyways, going for a pair of boots like that, just to be really quick, considering all the other checks that you guys had succeeded with beforehand, Jesus, Steve, considering all the other checks that you guys had done beforehand, it would not be incredibly difficult for you to find these, so I don't need any additional rolling, but I will tell you it's going to be another 50 gold to get your hands on a pair of them.
Oof. Yep. All right, I'll take it out.
All right, yeah. So anyways, 50 gold for that. Who's going to wear the pair and tuck the papers comfortably along the sole of the boots?
Gallon.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So Gallon,
is there any? I was going to say, is there any sort of negatives or anything I need to add for like things to remember? Cool.
No. One of my favorite things is always bladed boots, like blade boots, where like you hit it a certain way, it causes the blades to come out the toes, and you can fight with it like an offhand weapon. Those are always lots of fun. All right, cool. Let's keep going. So you guys get your hands on a pair of smuggler's boots, where you carefully take your paperwork and you're gonna put it inside the boots and push them up inside there, hoping to yourself like crazy that you don't end up stepping in too thick of puddles of mud for too long, or it doesn't rain too poorly while you're traveling. Otherwise, these boots might end up being a detriment, because even though there's sure. Yeah.
Also, I could crystal over them if like worst case scenario.
I mean, you could always just take them off and put them in your saddlebags. Like, it's just a spare pair of shoes. Like,
no. Yeah, of course.
That's a very good point.
wear them enough to wear them in, but as soon as the weather turns, like, oh, pardon me, I need to change my shoes. Okay. Like, I've got my Air Jordans on. What the hell's the matter with you? Of course, we got to stop for a minute. I put on my Adidas. So you guys are going to start traveling north. I don't think there was anything else in this town you cared to do. I think we took care of all of that last session. So we're just going to hop in the thing and move on and start moving northward. I'll describe some stuff, but I don't think your characters had too much of an intention of like really exploring details. So I'll describe a little bit on the travels. So one of the things I want to point out, let me get my map up. All right.
I've meant to remind you that I am keeping a sense out, I guess, for if I feel that connection that I had in my session 0.
Sense out.
This is a reminder. So the person who was captured in Yvonne's.
Yeah. So just paying attention to that. I'm not acting on it. I'm just paying attention.
She'd most likely be up north.
I mean, I'm telling you now just in case, but I just wanted to remind you that that's a thing, just so you can factor that in if needed.
Dude, V-Sword's sitting on some power. That's a little scary.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a little scary. Don't piss her off. So anyways, as you guys are traveling north, one of the things that you're going to notice down along here, and I described this beforehand as being a large city built up, so on and so forth. As you actually travel along the riverside, you'll notice all along both sides of the river that there is the place down here is actually rather built up. So it's not like you have swaths of forest, little tiny town, swaths of forest, little tiny town, which is what you typically experience as you're traveling through most of the rivers that you've kind of traveled through, even in Paradel. Despite how big Paradel is, Paradel's population is not incredibly dense, right? One of the things that make Paradel work is that they constantly spread out. So they have, a lot of people that happen to live there, and the numbers are always growing as the inclement continues to happen, right? But they continue to spread out constantly, so it's never really too incredibly densely packed. That's not the truth with Yovance. Yovance is incredibly dense, packed as a nation. So you're seeing, like, along either side of the river, large towns, pretty freaking common. So it's fairly often that you're seeing large towns along the way, and each of these towns are actually built up well. So again, it doesn't ever have that feel like, oh well, we head out in the great beyond, and we did what we could and built what we could. It's like, no, it seems like every location you happen to go to when a new town was built, either pretty early on into its construction, or somebody came in later on and just kind of like decimated the original stuff and built up new stuff. But it looks like they always had kind of like a plan. They always built with like city planning kind of structure in mind. So it's very efficient.
Our city, Adelaide, had a plan for the CBD and everything from the start. So it's very square and very. It was very disorienting going from that and then seeing Seattle, which was chaos.
I've never been to Seattle, which I assume you mean West Coast of the United States. Boston is, of course, chaos because it's from the early 1600s. You know what I mean?
It's like British cities.
Yeah, just terrible. Yeah,
which is just like wiggly waggly, whatever works. Like slap it on, lol.
Yeah, it's I'll take my neatly laid out town, thank you.
Either way, so the so it is very well designed, and that's one of the things you can tell even without getting off of the boat. Is that every one of these towns, kind of as you're making a way up, are very well designed. Just even as whether they pull up into the docks for a moment to let some stuff off of the ship and other stuff on, or if you just happen to be going by, you can literally, as you're passing by, look up the streets. Now, mind you, pretty much anybody who lives in a port town knows that you can look up the streets, because everything is going to lead down to the port. Everything is designed to relatively easily go down the hill, because almost every port town it builds up a hill down into it. It's going to lead down to the ports. That's pretty simplistic, because that's going to be your point of commerce for whether it be foot traffic of travelers coming through to purchase things or actual transportation of goods. You're going to want relatively easy transportation, sure. Well, you can even see the grid lines of the perpendicular streets and whatnot that are there. And here's one of the big things, is you can see pretty clearly, even from down on the ship itself, that there is clearly like where the docks area ends. There's warehouses. There's all the different kind of like facilities for taking in supplies from like the roads or whatever beyond this actual town, down to the docks and back out. There's all that stuff. You can see there's clearly a commercial area, because you can tell by based off the buildings that are there, kind of like the design of the storefront, so on and so forth. And the areas where separated, there's a residential area. You get, again, this kind of like city planned format, as opposed to you can walk out of any home, walk 2 steps over, and there's like a butchery or a I don't know, a fish market or whatever it might be all around you, right? So you kind of get this feeling as you're passing your way through these towns. Another thing to note is how densely populated all the towns are. Again, you are in southern Yovance. There is a lot of ownership of a certain good in Yovance. I think you know what I'm talking about. I think you know what I'm going with this. We're all the same. Yeah. So anyways, so there's a lot of people that are, shall we say, putting in their 9 to 5, or more accurately, their 5 to 9 every day. So getting that job done. And you guys notice this, of course, as you're traveling up the river. The town that we really want to focus on, or the metropolis we're really going to focus on, is Arche. So when you go pulling into Arche, it really stands out as being absolutely pristine. Starting from the docks and working your way back. The docks themselves...
Really thought you were going to say it stinks.
Pristine.
I was like, fair.
No. Well,
and now I'm interested. How does it not stink? Do they have like a working sewer system?
Pristine is the aesthetics, right? All cities smell. And pretty much every time I describe any densely populated place, I always say it smells. As I was saying beforehand with the other city before. So of course there's an odor to it. Hell, if you go to modern cities, they smell. They're gross. If you go to New York City, it smells like New York City. It's gross. But, you know, it's New York. Hey. If you go to Newark is fucking nasty.
I actually heard that there was like a way around that. In Boston, they had this innovative new technology to mask the smell, where they just dumped shit tons of tea into the sea, and then the whole place just smelled like tea.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
One of the good things about Boston, which has its own odor, don't get me wrong, why it's, in my opinion, it's not as bad, is because it is so much waterfront area. Like it's so much of it is just like open to the ocean that you have a lot of sea breeze just kind of like pushes it away, disperses it. Portland doesn't smell. Portland, unless there's like a low tide and it's a particular like fishy low tide, which happens in any oceanic town. Portland, Maine doesn't have an odor to it, but it's also not anywhere near as densely populated as, say, Seattle or Boston or Providence or any of those. So, anyways, where were we? Even the docks themselves. Obviously, most of the docks are going to be made out of wood, right? Like that's just it's the most it's the smartest material to work with because of how easy it is to work with. how light it is, so on and so forth. But there are many structures that are on the docks that are completely made out of marble, including one area where as the docks, because if you look at where RK is, nestled right there, as the bridges stretch across to connect the 3 different sides of the dual riverbank, the Y-shaped riverbank that's there. Those bridges are made out of marble. And even on the bridges that are made out of marble, there's areas where there's like statues and whatnot put on the bridges that clearly are either made out of, but more than likely painted in gold, which give this like incredibly bright like shimmer coming off of it. The pillars and whatnot that are on the statues, they all have that like gold paint that they use to make it so it like really has this pristine shine. So just even pulling up to the docks themselves, you can see just like this like shimmering shine that comes off of it. The actual city behind it, the palace that they have there, the primary palace of RK, you can see from down on the docks, stands far above and behind almost anything else that's there. And there's a straight path that leads directly to, or I should say almost directly to that palace, right? So it's a big, wide pathway that leads almost completely directly to the palace. The reason I say almost completely directly is because if it was literally just like one big just like straight path there, that would just be like asking any invading army to just have like a straight shot there. So near the ends is where it kind of like breaks up and it has to go into smaller pathways to get the rest of the way up to the palace. But you can imagine the kind of parades and whatnot that they must hold, or whenever they do like big celebrations coming from or going towards the palace, what that might happen to look like. Going down this pathway that has just all sorts of gorgeous buildings on either side. So whereas most of these cities, their big wide streets are going to be used predominantly for commerce, while this one does have wide streets for commerce and whatnot, that main straight streets that goes up there, these are some of the finest buildings that you're going to find in all of RK, right? So these are huge mansion-like homes that are lining the left side and the right side and whatnot. It definitely gives you that feel that, like, you know, you probably don't belong there. That's exaggerated by the fact that a city like RK, again, incredibly densely populated, adding to the smell that Neil was requesting. Neil just likes that stank. He's all about that stank.
I can still hear you, you fiend.
Doesn't make it any less true. So, anyways, so the brain's not working. Sorry. Oh, so one of the things that you'll notice is that main pathway, which is double as wide as the typical streets you'd see in the other towns coming up, is very, very well designed, has little archways and whatnot going up various areas to portray different things going up there, like different symbols, whether they be like animals or mythological creatures or whatever they are along the way, just kind of like sort of looking for designs to kind of like hang down from the inner arch that's there. So I give it like a bit of like a regal look. Despite how wide and how big these streets are, not many people are on them. Because it's you kind of get the impression pretty quickly, if you don't belong on those streets, you probably shouldn't be on those streets. So you will see, like, you know, well-dressed, almost like Kingsguard and how finely dressed their uniforms are and whatnot, kind of like walking up and down those streets. And you will see people in the finest of finery kind of going up and down those streets with occasionally like a servant or two that's with them directly. But for the most part, that's not like a cut through that the typical townsfolk are going to use to go from A to B. Like, oh, traffic down on the 6th Street is miserable. I'm going to go down Main Street. Like, you probably don't want to do that. Stick with the traffic on 6th. I don't know if you guys are going to spend much time in RK at all. I imagine not. But one of the things, again, because of how well designed it is, even with the docks, the way that they're situated, if you're familiar with the town, you would know, ooh, as soon as I pull into whatever dock I'm supposed to, wherever it is that we happen to set the ship, you kind of want to stay dockside and walk either left or right along the actual docks to find out where it is that you're looking for. So if like, okay, I'm looking specifically to buy goods, or if I'm looking for a room to stay in, or if I'm looking for whatever it is, you can more or less just choose the exact street that you want and go up there and kind of head over to that path. And it makes like your life easy. So let's say, I don't know, Tesh's character was looking to go get his hands on a finely made broadsword. He can go up a specific street and there's going to be like 7 or 8 different blacksmiths all right by each other and really do that kind of like bargain shopping as they're competing with one another.
That must make their commerce extremely competitive.
Hey, Blue.
Extremely. What's up, Blue? How you doing, girl? How's things doing out in Hawaii? There she is. Hey, hype. Yeah, extremely competitive commerce. Abso-friggin-lutely. So one of the things you would typically think of coming to Yovance is that you can get goods here pretty darn cheap. Are you guys?
Yeah, I wonder why. Who makes them?
Well, I'll get to that in 1 second.
Oh.
We're hanging in there. Awesome. Are you guys going to be doing any crazy lockdowns or anything like that out in Hawaii, Blue? Are you guys going to keep the dirty mainlanders off your island so you guys can survive it? Because we all know how trashy the mainlanders are and how much they disrespect your home. So, anyways, so I hope you're able to do some degree of shutting down to keep it, because you guys had a kind of a rough go of it from people being like, "Oh, I know we can't travel anywhere. Let's all go to Hawaii" last year. So,
My God.
let's see. Yeah,
that sounds about right, given the reaction. Like, just with our lockdowns and just like, well, we can still exercise, so everyone's just going to exercise in the same beach at the same time. And
I was just at the Old Orchard Beach up in Maine these past few days, and it was very sparse. It was not anywhere near as busy as I've ever seen it my entire life. I didn't go last year, mind you, which is probably even more sparse. But it's because the not many people can come over, because usually it's a lot of Canadians come down to Old Orchard Beach. It's a huge like Canadian spot to come down to. Not as many are going to be coming right now, as you can imagine. So, anyways. So back to the game, Neil. Yeah, usually if you came here, like let's say a decade ago or before, if you came down through here, you can get a lot of goods for whatever it lists inside the PHP, whatever it might be, book you're looking at, underneath what it lists as market value. It's a great place to buy things that are cheaper. Again, that was 10 years ago or before, because of that cheap labor they used to be able to produce the goods. Moving on. But the problem is you have the nation's been fighting a war of survival for a pretty long while now. Pretty large swaths of land have been taken by Paradel because of the war that's going on, and people need to try to make as much money as they can to help fuel their own. Because remember, there's no like national army that exists in Yovance, right? It's all these like.
Is there tax? Because if I was the leader of war, I'd increase the tax.
Of course, there's tax, right? But that doesn't change the fact that that's for keeping other things functioning, right? But for the people that have their own individual armies of 50,000, 70,000, whatever they might be, continuing to make sure you have the money to be able to swell those numbers of your army, keep them fed, keep them properly armed and whatnot. Like all those things cost money, so of course you have to increase. So it's not going to be quite the same of a discount here as you would typically find a decade beforehand, and so on and so forth. So you can imagine that here you could pretty easily find, like if somebody's charging over what a PHP says market value, if you don't mind spending a day or so looking around, you could probably get it cheaper without even negotiating, right? You just have to. Well, it's like buying a car. You go to the Nissan dealership and you look at the Rogue and they're charging, I don't know, $32,000, and you go to the Ford dealership that's selling the same Rogue from Nissan, and you're like,
the Nissan dealership.
Nissan.
Nissan. Why? What's our Nissan?
No. Japanese thing.
Nissan's not Japanese though.
Okay, Nissan.
Nissan's not Japanese. Is it Korean?
It's either you have to say Nissan.
Why?
Because Nissan is
Nissan is something else.
Oh, always called it Nissan. I'm confused. Is it a Korean dealership? Is it a Korean car manufacturer?
Suit yourself, sister.
Oh, now I'm looking it up. Hold on. Well, it's headquartered out of Japan. Maybe it is Japanese. I thought it was Korean, like Kia and The other one. I have no idea what NII.
Mike's niece.
No idea what that is. Now I have to Google it.
It's nothing bad actually. It's very innocent humor. This.
Yeah, it's just
particularly innocent given.
According
really
to
funny.
Urban Dictionary, you're a fool. I don't know.
What?
It says Nissan, you're a fool. Is what it says in
No,
Urban
it's
Dictionary.
So did you just Google what? Because Green was doing a play on words.
Oh, okay.
So it's NEE, Sam.
Hyundai is Korean, yeah. NEE San. So what is it?
Sister.
It means sister?
Yeah.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. I know that.
So Norway was doing a play on word by replacing the E's with the I's because English is a great language and that makes the same noise, more or less. If you want it to, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's sister, Nissan.
Yeah, because isn't Oni-san is the male sibling?
It's been a long time since I've watched any significant family involved anime. I think the last
There's
one
also
was...
different. Yeah, there we go.
And I got my mom watching Hunter x Hunter right now.
Hunter x Hunter is good.
Yeah.
But also distinctly has no family.
No. She was like, why are you having me watch this again? I was like, don't you remember you used to love Hunter X like back in like, I don't know, 2004 or whatever? She's like, she's like, I remember I used to watch anime with you guys. And then so like she gets a couple of seasons and she's like, actually, I really like this show. It's just really violent. So she's like loving Hunter x Hunter or whatever right now, which is pretty funny. I know that while I was on vacation, my little nephew and his friend that we were with, they were watching some anime where a little girl would turn into a cat to snuggle with a boy that she had a crush in to find out ways to get him to fall in love with her. And like she would like go into like his bedroom and stuff like that and would spend time snuggling with him and he'd pet her and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, if we
creepy.
If we switched, if we just
creepy.
This doesn't pass the sniff test. If you just like switch the roles, if a little boy was turning into a cat to snuggle with a girl, I'm like, this doesn't really work as a story. Like, I don't know, trash your rock. It was like whisked away or some shit like that. I don't know. I was like, no, or whisk her away.
The O part is what makes it brother, I think.
Yeah. Either way.
Oh no, Oni is big sister. Never mind. Oh, never mind.
Whatever. And guess what? I don't speak Japanese. So it's beautiful to listen to. It's beautiful to listen to, like watching like a Japanese film. I'll put on subtitles to listen to the actual actors' voices versus the dubbed over voices, which sometimes is the real actor. Like I'm pretty sure like Donnie Yen and whatnot does his own, but just Chinese, not Japanese to be clear. But does his own voice acting in English as well as in Chinese. But either way. So anyways, where were we? Oh, so yeah, you'd be able to find out what it is that you're looking for. You could probably get it at a pretty fair market price that's here. But we've already defined pretty clearly that your characters don't really intend to spend much time in RK. So I imagine like while here, as many goods are being offloaded and unloaded, you do a little bit of traveling through the area. So kind of like just like walking through, one of the other things you're going to notice is that this metropolis, and it's very much a metropolis, is very, very, very districted. And they keep things pretty simply defined for you. Every district that you go through with the lampposts that they have, and they do have lampposts for nighttime, keeping things fairly well lit, so on and so forth. Every lamppost you notice has almost like a ribbon that goes down it in coloration, right? And so there's different colors that go down these lampposts, whether they be all black lampposts, right? Because you have to imagine they're made out of like a raw iron that has candles or whatever that kind of burn at the night. It's not like they're piping gas up there, right? Anyways, so they're made of a raw iron, or if they're the raw iron with like a red or blue or green or like a gold stripe kind of running down the lamppost. Imagine how like an old barbershop used to have like kind of the ribbon going down like that, going down the lamppost. It kind of defined for you what district you were in, which you discovered pretty quickly. That would define what district you were allowed to travel through during certain times of day, because there were some pretty heavy rules that you had to follow for going through different districts, especially during certain times of day, for the sake of safety and whatnot. Now, fortunately for you, you guys happen to be merchants. So you actually are allowed to go through the mercantile district. It's kind of assumed that you're either working on your shop or transporting goods or making deals with the merchants, whatever it is. It's pretty much assumed that you can do that all hours of day and night. So there's no stopping for you with going through there. So day, night, whatever it might be. But then there are the finer districts, which are going to be defined by, again, the blue, the red, and the gold stripes that you were not allowed to go down unless it is, yeah, look at that. Thanks, Lilu. That you are not allowed to go down except for during certain hours, right? And even still, the gold district, for you to go through there, because that's like supposed to be like the fanciest, like the finest districts that you can go into. It's where, like, of course, like the higher tier merchant leaders would happen to be. It's where all the extremely wealthy are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you're going through there, not only is there a very narrow window of like 2 or 3 hours that you're able to be there, anything outside of that, you have to have special permissions. So you just aren't going to go down that path. I bring this up because there is a whole university district that happens to be here. So that's going to be what's marked with the blue. Is the whole university district that happens to be here, where there are a ton of different schools that happen to exist. This is, I'm bringing it up because Viggo himself, I imagine, would be curious about what kind of education they have here in Yovance. And it's not soft. Like, it is some pretty intense, like the universities they have here are designed very well, maintained very well. You can see just by the sheer number of people that are going through there that they think very highly of the education that's offered. And you can also tell that there is very clearly an Arcane Congress endorsed magical school that's there. Like, there is definitely a Arcane Congress magical school that's there, and it is very well stocked full of people. Do a Yovance centered Arcane Congress like magic school themed campaign soon? What? D&D put out those rules. Should we set it in Yovance? No. That way we could. That way, one of you guys could just have a servant named Dobby. You know, we can have fun.
God. So what you're saying is you want a campaign to be trump carded into oblivion.
Yeah. There we go. Dobby. Get over here, Dobby. Oh, sorry, Neil. Can you say Dobby for us so we can hear that?
More with feeling.
Dobby.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up, Shitty? How you doing, girl? All right. So either way, so there is actually like a decent sized school here. And one of the important things to note is that school, it's very, very full of students. You can tell because like in between classes, you can see, as again, Viggo has more understanding of this than the other two. You can see that in between the classes, as they're like switching between the different classrooms that they would have to go to for the different kind of like stuff that they're learning, every group is massive. There's so many, it's not like it kind of sparse. It's like you can imagine that every one of those classrooms are very filled. At a time of war like this, you can imagine a lot of people are trying to get their hands on any additional skills they have to give themselves opportunities in the future. Now, Yovance, the people here, aren't very nationalistic, right? They don't really care about their own nation. Some do, you can imagine, but most of them are a little bit egocentric, self-serving, et cetera, et cetera. So if they go to school to learn like what kind of magics they can use to help them, they mean themselves. Like, okay, after Yovance falls,
it's like America.
Yeah. Except we also welcome in other selfish people, thank you. Okay? Elon Musk wasn't made here. We took him in. Okay?
But now he's ours.
Also, what's the name of that Australian billionaire we took in not too long ago?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Richard Branson.
Yeah, there you go. Richard Branson. Yeah, he's ours. That's ours now.
I thought he was English.
Is he English? I don't know. I thought it was yours.
I
thought he belonged to you lot.
Was he?
I don't know. He
I
has one
always
of those
know.
As with
accents.
everything, Scott, it was ours first.
I think it's funny that Australia doesn't really allow dual citizenship, though. I didn't know that until recently. You guys don't
You're
allow,
either in or you're out.
right?
No pussyfooting around on the border.
I
You can
don't
get dual
think that's.
citizen.
Don't think they allow it in politics. I don't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you're not allowed to be if you're a politician.
Yeah, no, you're allowed
that kind of makes sense.
You're just not allowed it in politics.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of people had dual citizenship. Like, it's been an issue where it turns out people had dual citizenship in politics. So clearly they were allowed to have
dual is. Yeah, dual is the limit though. You can't have like a third.
Yeah.
Because
you could totally be like British, South African, Portuguese, American citizen. Like, let's throw in Brazil for fun, you know? But like I first encountered that because I didn't know that, because obviously as American you don't realize that that's a thing until my friend from Lithuania. She'll always tell you, I was born and raised in Soviet Lithuania. You know, she remembers when the USSR fell when she was 10. Anyways, when she became an American, it was a hard choice because she had to lose her Lithuanian citizenship. And I was like, I don't know, with that accent, maybe you shouldn't. No? Okay. But she had already like been here, went to college here, started a career here, got married here, had a kid here and all that stuff. So she eventually decided to go full-blown American and voted Trump. So, you know, she fit in. But you can imagine somebody who grew up in USSR, anything that sounds like socialism is frightening. So I give her a pass on that one. Good person overall, just confused politics. Back to the game. So, we talked about the commerce, we talked about everything else that happens to be here, the districting, and the schools and how like massive the universities are and how very full the universities are, et cetera, et cetera. I don't imagine Shinny, in Soviet Serbia, Trump vote you.
Oh no.
And because my accent was atrocious, can one of you guys also do that accent so I don't be the only fool here?
Oh, we're having it clipped. It's you. You've already embarrassed yourself. Oh, look, a cat.
Anybody? Hey. You guys gonna all leave me hanging on this one?
Yep.
I feel like it should have said in Soviet Serbia, Turk vote you or something, when they owned by Turkey for a long time in quite an oppressive regime.
We're getting way too into this. we're going too deep. We gotta pull back.
All right. So Ottoman Empire. No. So when you go, there's nothing else you guys want to do here. I described a whole bunch. I imagine you care to get on the boat and keep moving, or is there anything there that piqued your interest?
In the time that we are here, she's a good girl. I would, Tris would definitely check out the main street, the parade street, in as much as his legal capacity allows. He wouldn't be trespassing, but like, this is effectively a wonder. Like, this entire thing is marble, like with gold. Statues lining it for like, presumably in a metropolis, you say like a mile or two. That's insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like he's awed by the.
And it leads all the way up to a palace too.
Yeah. So he would be awed by the physicality of it, like the fact that this is made and maintained and looks pristine.
So if you're going to be traveling up that street, remember how I said it goes almost all the way up to the palace at the very end there, kind of like there's like a dead end. Well, not a dead end, but you have to like take a left or a right to kind of make your way the rest of the way up. Those buildings that are at the very top of it, all that whole area that where it literally comes to an end that you then again break up into 2, or depending on how far out you want to go, 4 different roads that make the rest of the way up to the palace as actual walled gates and so on and so forth. That building structure right there is a garrison that belongs to the army, that belongs to the most wealthy ruling family of Yovance, right? So that's a big garrison full of soldiers. And here's an important thing to know about those soldiers. It's actually one of the things that's kind of like noted of the of that family. They're all free. Every one of those soldiers is somebody who earns their freedom but continues to serve in the military. So they all have an actual rate of pay. They all have. So it's almost like they realize having so close to their home an army of not free people might be a bad idea.
That would have ended poorly.
Right? But it is a garrison, and you can see again, like I mentioned beforehand, guards that walk up and down the streets in extremely regal garb, so on and so forth. This whole area is guarded by them. It is important to note that the gates that lead into the actual palace are closed, except for certain persons walking up to them. They don't like leave them open and then eventually close them like they often do in like with the crown, right? It's like no. They leave them closed and open them as needed. Any other things you got characters you want to look at beyond, of course, marveling at the marbling of the center of the city?
For me personally, I will probably. I haven't stated it, but I've alluded to it before. Viggo actually keeps a sketchbook. So he will sketch that image when they pulled it to the dock of the palace through the marble street, more or less.
I can't remember. Did you ever put points in that crafting or no?
I did, yes.
Oh, you want to go ahead and roll it for me, Big Daddy?
I do, and because I'm a perfectionist.
I thought we agreed for you guys not to call each other Big Daddy, Little Daddy on air.
My roll 20 is lagging.
Scott is obviously the Little Daddy, by the way.
Why am I Little Daddy?
You know why.
Oh, I wasn't listening. At some point in time during my vacation, my family called me Little Finger. I don't remember why, though. I know the reference, obviously, but I don't remember why. They're like, oh, so you're a Little Finger. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. You can't cast it twice. It doesn't stack, Jake. It doesn't stack. Jake, it doesn't stack.
Listen, I didn't even see it, all right? Oh, there we go.
Rafter's Fortune.
Damn.
Whoa, that's still high.
I assume that includes.
Yeah, that's shitty.
You get an extra +5 on that. Though.
No, that includes the +5.
No, that's with the 5.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Would you like to luck that?
Why'd you roll a 3?
No, that doesn't matter.
Just kidding. You can't anyway. So, because you already have luck die added. You're welcome. All right. Man, it sucks drinking all this bottled water, but unfortunately, it's one of those things where I kind of have to because of the water supply here is a little trash. All right. So, where were we? So yeah, you are able to make a sketching of the area. Neil went and checked out that main pathway. Tesh, anything you care to do, or are we moving on?
Gallon's just uncomfortable.
Okay. No problem.
Much for his taste.
Well, the fun part is, this is your childhood. You've always known of Yovance as being your allies. Yovance are the allies of Amulta.
And this is the first time he's been back since he had a brief foray into Yovance, but it was a very quick endeavor. So since he joined Paradel, this is the first time proper. He's he's uncomfortable.
Can we just rephrase that from since you joined Paradel, since you betrayed Amulta? Let's just keep it clear.
Since Amulta betrayed me.
Oh, sure. Sure. And Soviet Serbia. Anyways, you last thing I'd want to point out, just to make a finer point here. When you heard descriptions, this is more to the viewers, but also to what you guys as PCs understand from other campaigns. When draft kills you, so when you guys were in when you guys know of northern Yovance and how it is they treat their I mean, for lack of better phrasing, there's of course I say servants sometimes, but their slaves that they have is very poor, right? Like you can hear like the cracking of whips and stuff like that. Literally, the people that lead the armies are called taskmasters and whatnot. Like it is not very good conditions. One of the things I want to make very clear is you see nothing of that down here from when you hit the dockside, especially up here in RK and so on. Yeah, there is slavery. Like a good 2/3 of the city are people that are owned. Like, let's not try to pretend like anything other than that is the case. But there's like just a different way of handling it in Southern Yovance than how it's handled in Northern Yovance. So again, not to mince words, they aren't free. They don't get to make choices for themselves beyond what they're allowed to make, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. but there's not all this like over the top abuse for the sake of abuse and that power control, blah blah blah. That doesn't really exist down here. That's kind of like beneath the people that live here. Like, oh, it's so barbaric. What do you think we're from, the north? You know, that kind of like mentality. So it's fun, and I bring this up because if Thronekeeper had ever actually made their way down south like they were supposed to, they would have seen like kind of a different side of Yovance and been like, okay, these are people we actually could have worked with versus, fuck it, let's just start a war, you know? But
I mean,
looking work with to change it, but you know, work with.
Looking at it from the Paradel perspective, like I'm down for the fuck it, let's just start a war, like the right way though.
Yeah, you start a war, you know, by walking in and you kill a noble and say, "I declare," and then you like stab like a flag through their chest.
Like pull
this
out
is
a really
Britain.
loud like flintlock pistol. And just...
Yeah. Oh.
Anyone else?
In the name of the Queen. So. And of course, you know, because this is 1741, you know, Queen Elizabeth was still there, you know. She was just getting onto her throne, where she would continue to serve the throne for 400 years.
Yeah, she's going to continue to serve even like after her death. You know, she's going to go and meld with her throne.
Yeah, I was going to say she's going to die. I don't think so.
Yeah,
she's doing some magic or something.
She's like Delta. Come talk to me when it's Omega. Like, oh Jesus. Anyways. So it's funny for you guys because you all serve the same queen. Oh. And you can't even make Trump jokes anymore. Oh.
Yeah, but I can also be a knight. I could be a knight of the realm.
I mean, could be, but
you don't have you will never ever have that opportunity. You will not be knighted ever. I one day may earn the right to bear a coat of arms.
I mean, I could just buy a coat of arms, just pay an artist and say, "Hey, make me a coat of arms."
Yeah, but it's like a fake
person
American
who signs up to that buying
the land in Scotland.
In
Scotland.
Wait,
yeah. I am Lord Daelric.
Isn't Wade actually technically a lord?
His friends bought him one for his birthday or some shit.
Pat did, yeah. So that's fantastic. Wade actually is technically a lord.
It's funny too because my family actually is Scottish, so I actually have Scottish family. But
just because your name's Scott doesn't mean you're Scottish, Scott. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But it's mostly Italian. So I mean, but not this beard is clearly not Italian. Italians can't grow beards. This is where the Scottish comes in because English can't grow beards. So. Neil, we can see your patchy little shithole that you have on your face. Like, it's sad.
It's called shaving, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd say you should do it, but it might not grow back.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a lot of dead material there.
Oh, sorry. With what V Sword wrote there, I just in my mind I saw her like hovered over like 3 empty buckets of KFC and eating like some barbecue. I'm technically a lady.
Oh God.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
See, Shinny said Neil's beard.
She said what?
It's factually a beard.
I mean, it is a beard. Yes, it is a loose definition of a beard, but it is a beard. Yes.
I actually have more hair than you'll ever have, Scott, which is kind of sad, isn't it?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I actually have more hair than you're ever going to have, Scott, which is kind of sad, isn't it?
I mean, I cut my ponytail off when I was 21.
Oh yeah, your hair was pretty long back then.
I cut it off because I was never going to get promotions if I kept long hair. It was one of those things where you would get enough negative comments by your like passive aggressive comments by your bosses often enough that you got the idea, either conform to what they wanted or don't get promoted. And so if you want to be in the corporate world, you just you do what you got to do. And I was trying to make a career back then. I'm sorry. My apologies. My liege.
No, you mean my lady.
My lady. I don't have any hats. Let's go get a cowboy hat.
Oh no, there's no time for finding hats. The show must go on.
All right. So well, I am an asshole, as are, never mind. Anyway, so
I know, isn't he blessing?
where were we? I think you guys were leaving.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so you guys got to get back onto your you guys got to get back onto the boat to continue way up north. Now, unless there was anything else your characters are looking to do, I honestly don't really see, because you have appropriate passing and whatnot, and you are in like south and central Yovance. There are no concerns here. I mean, like, we're just gonna right up the river, no problems, because there's no dangers that are noteworthy enough. There's enough guards on either side. This place is densely populated enough. You don't even have to really worry about bandits, because the towns are so frequent that there's going to be enough guards from pretty much any town to overlap most of the.
What's the point of being a bandit in Yovance? You get caught once, you either get executed or you become a slave.
Exactly. Right? So you want to do it on the borders, not in central Yovance. Do all that stuff on the borders. Go steal a little Ascarian gold, right? That's not so bad. So, but anyways, you guys are going to be traveling your way up north, kind of like making your way up there. Just trying to. I'll deal with that afterwards. So after you guys make that first split, sticking to the east side, and the second split that happens on the reverse, sticking to the east side once again, you're eventually going to fast forward, and this is, again, a considerable amount of time, a few weeks' time of travel, all the way up to the town of Stalingrad. And we're literally just going to fast forward all the way through that. I do want to point out that once you do get to northern Yovance, you'll actually see on the map that there is a bit of like wooded area. You can see the trees on the map if you're looking at it. This is the area where, again, less densely populated, a bit more space between towns, so on and so forth. If there were to be a banditry that were happening, this is an area where banditry could absolutely happen. More than banditry, of people that actually, like, whether they be self-freed slaves or just non-law abiding citizens, or potentially at this point in time, insurgents from Paradel that are coming in here, or even more than just Paradel now. Now it's also insurgents from Amalta, or in theory, even from Vigil, that are coming to get supplies. They could easily attack in the wooded area. But one of the things that you'll notice is once you come through this portion, so the last kind of like town that you guys stop at, you'll see a considerable number of soldiers come on. And be like, yo, what's up with this change of hands? And the soldiers that come on are all like Neil's character, somewhat experienced in being on a boat. So they got their experience at doing this kind of run, so they could assist with a few lines and whatnot, helping out. But for the most part, every one of them have not just crossbows, but Stalingrad crossbows, which is a pretty easy thing. Malta being formerly of help me out here, Galdaria. And them having a close relationship with the Malta for as long as they've had, having Stalingrad crossbows, which are a very, very finely crafted crossbow, makes sense, because they're here to guard these ships as they move along. So you'll always have, at any point in time, a good 6 soldiers that are standing on either side that are looking outwards. Nothing, again, is going to happen to your characters unless somebody rolls under a 10 on the next D100 roll in chat. But you can imagine that they're pretty much always going to be aware of what's happening, because they're keeping a pretty close eye. Oh, Jesus Christ, Joey. Oh, we were so close.
Why?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Joey.
Joe's reaction. Nice.
Nice.
All right. Near, far, never unarmed with Stalingrad. All right. Can we just take Steve's roll instead? Chat, should we put up a poll? Should we just take Steve's roll instead? All right. Shinny Alex, Shinny, and V-Sword. Milady. V-Sword as well. I totally expect when I finally meet V-Sword at what's it called? King Richard's Fair. She's gonna put on like her best Cockney accent, like I am a lady, like in My Fair Lady. I don't know. Last time
that wasn't a Cockney accent. That was pain. That was.
If you listen to Audrey Hepburn's doing of that, it's rather painful to listen to. It like hurts your like it's painful to listen to.
What's that, Artie?
Why are we Donald Duck suddenly?
You want to hunt Scott? He's probably small enough. You could probably take him down.
Who are you talking to?
Artie. She's.
Prepare
for cock game. Don't worry, I'm fully clothed. She's just sitting right here. And that's it, Twitch guess. So Scott just gets boom.
I was like, it's a cat. You just kick it. You know? Problem
What?
solved.
No, you'd be running. You'd be running. She's like as big as you.
Oh, you clearly never tried to kick a cat that's actually trying to
Scott,
get you.
I can literally fit you.
No,
I can fit you in my hand. I can see you on my screen right now. You would fit in my hand. She would chase you down and eat you. Come on, dude.
Does somebody want to explain to Neil how Zoom works?
Cat.
Huh?
That cat will. You try to kick a cat, that cat will latch onto your leg.
Nah, I've never tried to kick an animal.
No, I would. Yeah.
I know. I didn't actually believe that you would, but I was just saying when you were like, "Oh yeah, you just kick a cat," I'm like, "That doesn't work like that."
Artie's too cute anyway.
Unfortunately, that one right there is still alive, but you know.
Nope, she came through the gate, did she?
No, the gate's closed.
She's just staring through the gate like a Furby.
She's lying because I finally got the dehumidifier working because it was at 77% humidity down here, which is nasty.
No, I get some with my humid. I think we have to honor Joey's role. Joey was the first in the role. We have to honor that. You know, Joey gets a lot of stick, and we need to show him the respect he deserves occasionally.
So what you're saying is we should respect Joey's
authority.
Authority here. Joey.
Authority.
Joey rolled it. We have to make it happen.
Yep.
Cool.
He rolled an 8.
All right.
And
so
that's great.
Let's take it back a step. When those other people came aboard the ship, the soldiers came aboard the ship. You guys see them come aboard, and they're dressed like they're wearing well-made armor. They have well-made weapons, style-grade weapons, et cetera, and whatnot that's on them. So they come aboard the ship, and it's not a small number of them either. It's a good 18 soldiers come on, and you imagine 18 soldiers, because you always have 12-hour shifts. They always have 6 people on doing keeping an eye, and you always have like the backup crew, so in case they call for help, the crew that was like 2 crews ago will step up, and then the other crew can step up if need be, and you have a good 18 extra soldiers on this boat that's making its way up the river. Again, they're not light either, so this is costing cargo, this is costing space, because you have heavy people on the boats traveling up there. But they must be rather concerned if they put this many additional soldiers, because it was a good number on this long river ship that they're using to go up here. And the reason why I say long river ship is because usually river ships aren't going to be incredibly long, because you have to be able to, kind of like navigate the twists and turns of a river. But this river has been populated long enough, has had its corners and whatnot over the course of centuries and what have you, kind of like worked down that the ships of this size could easily pass through here. Boats, I should say, of this size could easily pass through here because it's already been logistically planned out ages upon ages ago. So anyways,
this is like a canal as much as it's still a river because it's not man-made, but like it's managed, and these probably are, like you say, if they're long ships, they're probably like double width canal boats basically.
Yeah. So, either way, so you can imagine that there's for people like you that are traveling along here as merchants, more or less what you're going to have is a small place where you're, of course, sharing quarters with the crew, et cetera, et cetera. You'd have conversations with people as time goes on, but nobody really stands out to you because a lot of the other people down here are merchants, and they all give you, because they're doing trading up north, they're starting to give you, because now you're in the northern reaches of Yovance, they're starting to give you that kind of like slimy feeling of Northern Yovance that we had originally seen portrayed in other campaigns. So to describe that for you, they look like they're here to make a buck. You know what I mean? They're here to make some coin. They don't really care about how or what. You can see like as they're playing like cards, what have you, with each other. There's no like respect to the rules to one another. One person will have no problem cheating, getting caught by the others. They're being like brawling amongst them. Again, it doesn't have that kind of like regal feel of being in Central and Southern Yovance, right? Anyways, when this crew comes aboard, you can imagine that as they come on, you can see that they hold themselves pretty straight-backed and stern and whatnot as they're there. I was actually going to say that Tristan would stop and say hi to one of them, but Tristan did leave his chair and not back. So, you can imagine they come on. There's one particular one of them that is going to be their commanding officer. And one of the things that you would notice, Jake, is as the commander of the 18 of them, so one of them being the leader of the rest, the way that they speak to the others, unlike how you've heard some of the other speech and whatnot happening, there's an authoritative tone, of course, being their leader, but at the same time, there's no disrespect, which is a little bit unusual from what you've noticed up here in the north. So you can notice kind of like they have that bit of a tone or whatever. And then at one point in time, after giving out whatever commands, not Tristan, but we'll have them kind of like going over to Gallon and Viggo, as they go over and say, what brings you lot up here? But again, this is very much so in Tasian.
Tasian, yeah.
Which I believe both of you speak.
Yep.
What brings the two of you up here?
Trade. Got some things to offload.
Narcolepsy?
Need to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was right. So anyways, trade. Sorry, I was just answering shitty in chat.
So it was very strange. Trade. We're just here to trade. Narcolepsy?
So he says, you say trade? Nods and says, what are you trading?
Potions. Are your crew interested in any? The ones that'll make you stronger, ones that'll make you quicker.
Potions, not people.
No, not people.
Shakes his head and says, that kind of stuff, it's always interested me, but we're not allowed to wear what wasn't purchased for us. But I can't complain. We're pretty well outfitted. And besides, each run to the north and south has gone pretty well. I've done this run 11 times now. I've only ever lost 3 people.
Good odds. You have much problem with bandits along this route?
I mean, some people think they're bandits. I think it's something else. But, you know, they're not going to listen to what I have to say on the matter.
I take precautions myself, and that's when I kind of put one hand on Gallon and Tristan if they're there.
Well, Gallon's there. Tristan apparently has narcolepsy. Shinny said it, so it must be true. Because that's a real lady. I'm a lady.
Yeah, like when he does that, does like just the nod of like, yep, that's why I'm here, sort of nod.
So Tristan comes walking back upstairs, rubbing his eyes.
I mean, Triss doesn't speak Tasian. He doesn't understand it. So he wouldn't be involved in this conversation. Like, he'd sort of glance at the two of them. He doesn't know what's being said. He doesn't know the exchange. It seems amiable enough, so he would give them a glance and then that'd be it. Carry on looking out the window, effectively. He doesn't speak Tasian, so he's not going to get involved.
No, gives that look like.
Yep. Yep.
So anyways, the brain's not working. So anyways, looks to you lot and says, oh shit, what were we just talking about?
Potions.
Oh yeah. Says, yeah, no, I've always liked the idea of that sort of stuff, but no, that's not what we're talking about. Back to the thing. He goes, yeah, it seems like this is something different. The first fight ever gotten up this way, and certainly with things I've trained to deal with in the past, you kind of know bandits. They're a little sloppy. Yeah, they might start off acting together, but they pretty quickly fall apart. They go for what's best for them. It's like I've seen a crew of what do they call themselves? Oh yeah, adventurers. Were once on a boat before when we got attacked, and they thought they'd help out. But the funny thing about people who call themselves adventurers is no matter how much time they claim to spend together, they never actually work as a group. They just do their own thing next to each other. It's like watching toddlers play. Like, if you know anything about children, toddlers don't play with each other. They play near each other, right? They play in the same game, but like next to each other, right? Are any of you parents? No? Okay, well, the toddlers play next to each other. It's really cute. It's like side play. But young children, they play with each other. It's interactive. That's like adventurers. They just kind of do their own thing next to each other. And well, anyways, that's kind of how bandits are too. When they attack, they start together, but they very much do their own thing. But my point is, it seems like they do this together. Like, they kind of have a plan and they execute it. It gives a feeling like proper training. So either bandits have upped to their game lately, or there is something else happening. And considering how the war that nobody wants to talk about is still going on, I can imagine it's not going well. But we're never allowed to receive news about that. So I have to ask this. You have an accent. What news do you have from the outside?
Do I have an accent?
Well, I kind of noting towards Gallon.
Okay.
And Gallon barely spoke in this conversation, but he has heard him speak elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've been a part of any of that. What would have the state of the war been when I was deployed?
You guys back then would have still been allied with Yovans. It would have been before.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so
yeah,
but I mean, like, so he's talking about the war with Malta, is he?
He's saying with the war of Paradel. Malta wasn't at war with Yovans at the time.
That's what I thought it was. So yeah, so what was the state of the war when I was deployed? Because then I can just tell him that. Then it's not lying.
Excuse me, I voice act some of my NPCs, just not all of them. Because the same 5 voices over and over again. So yeah, you can give it very antiquated, like very outdated information.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on the front.
Yep. So anyways, so you just kind of like give it a long time. Okay. He nods and says, from Malta?
Indeed. Everyone has to serve there.
He says, I don't know if we're still allied with Malta. Rumors.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been back in a long time.
Well, everybody knows about the fight to the northeast. Everybody knows about what's going on with Paradel. Nobody talks about it, but everybody knows. But the rumor is that the lake you're heading up to, the port town you're going through is Stalingrad. You probably know that already. But the rumor is the northwestern part of that lake don't belong to Avance anymore. That belongs to Malta. That's moving some borders. So just be careful with that accent. You might find yourself in trouble.
Thanks for the heads up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, were we aware of any of that stuff?
Yeah,
No.
you guys don't keep updated on the war because this stuff is relatively recent information, and you guys weren't really kept updated for that region. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and Tasha
I
would have been
think
after you left there.
We knew meta, but we don't. I don't think we knew in character at all about any of that. So
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, this
So
is
yeah,
news to
he
all of
would
us.
look genuinely like, oh, that's interesting, and like his thanks for the heads up is a genuine thanks for the heads up because that's worrying to him.
Yep. So he does say, now you're a merchant. I see that, but you bring these boys because they can fight.
Why they're here, even if that one doesn't talk so much.
He nods and says, "Well, you're welcome to help out if you'd like, but you can also just sit back and see how good these boys are. You're in good hands."
I'll nod.
Get paid either way. he'll say sort of jokingly, like deliberately trying to sort of lighten the mood.
Okay. So, anyways, unless there was anything else you're going to chat with this gentleman about, I can. As you guys are traveling through the woods, and not like the most southern reaches of the woods either, like when you're traveling fairly deep into them. So there's a couple of towns that you'd pass by to eventually get up where you're close to Stalingrad, but not quite there yet. This is the area where realistically, if you jump off the boat and run east, you'd be like, "Yay, Paradel, we're home." And it wouldn't be that long of a travel either, right? But it's as you guys are traveling along the woods where the things start to go sideways because of Joey. So you're traveling along. Make me perception checks.
Oh, wrong character.
Are we all making them?
I mean, I didn't say specific people.
Okay.
You rolled for your. Oh, you said wrong character. I was like, you rolled for your horse. but then I realized
Carrick's like, I'm keeping an eye out.
I mean, he has got the scent and low light vision, so he's probably better than me at it.
If he had a language, then then Virgil would be able to talk to him as well. We need to teach him a language.
It's actually Viggo hears thwack, 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 echoing through the trees, whereas like Gallon feels it kind of like vibrating through their own bones. You know what I mean? Having that resonance through their own crystalline bone structure. So, anyways, hearing that thwack, kind of like echoing through the trees. At first, it's like, what's that noise? Because whenever you're in the woods and a noise happens, it sounds like it comes from absolutely everywhere. It's not obvious at first where it comes from, but then you spend a couple moments like really thinking about it, and I imagine like from the top of the boat, you even look over and you see you look over and the two of you kind of give each other that look that suggests that both of you realize what's going. They're like something's happening. So you're kind of like focusing for a second, just both of you kind of like listening about. You both are able to realize, no, it's definitely coming from in front of the boat. Whatever that loud cracking, thwacking noise is coming from in front of the boat.
So, having dealt with what happened when we were on the river last time we were in a dangerous place, can I look to see if there's any large trees up ahead next to the river that might have someone thwacking away at the bottom of it?
Trees are always going to be on either side, right? Either side. I don't know if you have you ever traveled on a river, or a stream or anything, Tesh?
Not really.
No. Okay. So fun thing. Whenever you travel on the side of those, because of erosion, right? Especially as like surge water or whatever, you'll always notice that there's going to be a bunch of trees where like the trunks are almost completely exposed, right? Where the roots are kind of like coming out, and the tree is like leaning into it, but has this kind of like this like bowing upwards, like I'm not going, yeah, and then eventually it falls into the water. Like that's pretty normal on rivers. So you can imagine. The thwacks are to entice those sorts of trees to just give up.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And there's many ways to go about it. You know, cut out the roots, cut some of the actual tree itself, whatever the case may be. Anyways, so you as you kind of get alarmed, look, both of you, and you like recognize that it's coming from up ahead. I imagine you Gallon quickly moves to the front of the ship to see what he can see. And up ahead, it's not that he sees instantly anybody thwacking trees, but he does see, what's that tree? Looks like it's moving a good. There's a rope attached to it. Shit. And you realize that somebody is not just cutting trees, but ropes on the opposite bank, pulling the trees down.
Yeah.
And this isn't one tree either. This is several trees ahead of you. So it's not like if you pull down one tree and you can kind of plow through it with a boat, there's a good chance you can kind of like knock it sideways. Even two trees, in theory, with enough force, so hopefully you don't break the boat, you can kind of knock those trees to the side and keep moving forward, especially if there's a little bit of like steel reinforcing the tip of the boat to stop the wood from getting hurt too much, right? But this isn't two trees either. This is several trees are being knocked and pulled down to stop the boat from being able to just kind of plow through, because as one kind of gets knocked sideways, it's going to hit another one, it's going to hit another one, and it's going to make it so they kind of like jam each other up. So the boat just gets entangled inside of them, right? And it's not a steamboat, so it can't just keep pushing through.
Yeah. Is that guy that we talked to still on duty?
You can imagine, yeah, you can go and get him pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would just like run up, which I assume would get his attention, someone running on the boat, and then just multiple trees are being pulled down.
Oh, I never said his name. That's right. I never did the handshake saying of the name. I intended to, but there was nothing else you asked her to say to him. His name, by the way, he would have introduced himself as Leeton.
As what, sorry?
Leeton.
Leeton.
Like Leetan. Leeton.
Yep.
Or Lietan.
While Gallon is running to get that guy,
or L33T. Sorry.
Viggo acts naturally as he would do. Remembering though to speak in Tasian, he, instead of Karen, he just yells out, "Crossbowmen, we're under attack."
Okay. Now, in what language do you yell out Tristan? Just wanna.
Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do for that, given what's going on? Tristan is going to hear a voice in his head.
Mommy?
So I am, for the first time using with you guys, my missive, except the Psy-like version. So he's going to hear a voice in his head basically saying, it's Tristan, don't panic, this is Gallon. There are people up ahead pulling trees down. Combat's going to start soon.
Tristan would like dig around in his ear with one of his fingers after it's done, and then put his helmet on and stomp up to the front of the ship.
Tristan's a good boy. He doesn't use Q-tips either, so he got a good amount of wax out.
Yeah, Q-tips are dangerous, dude.
Yeah. I tell my wife that all the time. Like, Q-tips are bad.
Made by the Arcane Congress.
Every Q-tip is actually a magic item that sucks away a little bit of your experience points, just so that they can harness
just like
them.
10, but with the entire world using it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
God.
That's where we're all kept, first level commoners. Oh, that's awesome. So anyways, is totally stealing this idea.
I've actually realized that technically I've realized by reading that it has to be with the suit on, but I've realized why they did that, because I can also just have Virgil tell him that. Say, hey, don't worry, this is, I would still say this is Galen, and I would get Virgil to tell him all this. Because Virgil could just speak with you telepathically.
So, you guys would, of course, you come up
Tristan's
above,
like bashing at his head. Get out of my head!
He just gets a dagger. He's like, I know how to dig you out. So I gotta go upwards. Anyways, so when he goes like kind of calling out to him, whatever, you see that there are again several trees that they're hacking away at, that you see people with axes hacking away at, and they're pulling down with ropes and whatnot. Of course, it was call out to the crossbowmen, who immediately come forward, which I imagine it's Viggo that kind of like points out where he sees them. It's kind of like over there. And they kind of line up their crossbows because, of course, they keep them prepared, because they're literally on guard duty. They keep them prepared. They line up their shot, and they're going to take a nice volleying shot over at them, at the individual people that are kind of, trying to hack down everything that's going on. Hey, V-Sword, since you're here, milady, you want to go ahead and roll me a D20, just to get this first fun one out of the way.
Every time now.
Yeah. So anyways, so yeah,
oh no,
it was a great shot. I appreciate that shot.
It's okay though, because Stalingrad crossbows, right?
Our Masterworks, they offer a +1. They're expensive crossbows. They genuinely are. So our +1.
These guys were very 10. Cocky about how good they were. So let's see it.
Plus, you measure that
me and my boys have got this. Literally no hits.
Of their first level warriors, that's a BAB of 1. So okay, is at 11. And if they have a dex, so let's give them like a generous dexterity of a 14 because they're very well trained. 14 dexterity is like so above average. But that gets us with 13. But then you have to factor in, like trees give like concealment and all sorts of things like that, and cover. All right. For the sake of concealment, Lilu, you want to go ahead and roll me a D10. If you roll a 1 or a 7, it is 20% mischance. Stormtroopers. I won't lie. So I was sharing a house at 3. Nice. I was sharing a house with a whole bunch of people, as I mentioned beforehand, and there was a few teenage boys that were there because it's like my cousin, his friends, whatever. And at one point in time, we're walking to the beach. I had just gone to the bathroom for like the 3rd time. Of like, I'm coming out of the bathroom and I'm wiping the rim of the bowl because I'm like, I don't want to take the blame for somebody else who was in there prior. So I'm walking down to the beach and I go walk out. I'm like, all right, who works for the Empire? I want to find the goddamn stormtrooper in here. And they're like, huh? I'm like, one of you guys can't hit your target. And you need to figure it out because you're 17 years old. I'm like, there's no excuse. Figure your shit out. And it was okay because I called it the whole group. So it wasn't one individual. It was probably all of them. But, oh boy, it hurt. Hit your target. It's a big ball. It's a big... Anyways, let's keep going. So, so either way, they're with a 13 total chance to hit. They're actually going to be able to clip one of the targets. And last person I'll have a roll for me from chat. What is it? Light crossbow. Shinny, can you go ahead and roll me a D8 for damage? And then we'll get into you guys rolling initiative. There is. Boom. You guys can choose your mini. Ooh, decent amount of damage, Shinny. Jake's like, I don't want to do combat, and he just pieces out.
Whoa. I'm okay with that roll.
I thought Tesh was going to be like, I'm okay with Jake leaving for combat. I was like, wow, dude, bro.
Savage.
No. Jake has so far done pretty well in combat. So me, not so much.
It's been a long time since I've been in combat with you. Yeah, my current memories is people dying on the floor.
That was still accurate with the one without you.
Oh dear.
Let's see if I can survive this combat.
I believe.
I can fly. Woo! I believe I can touch the sky. I watched the new
Think about it every night and day.
Spread my wings and fly. I believe.
Ever and ever and
Woo!
more. Don't close my eyes.
Woo!
Don't-
Open door. I believe.
I'm sorry about that, chat.
I believe.
Sometimes,
woo.
you know, it gets away from me.
And more woo.
Woo!
And one last woo.
Woo!
Open door. Woo. Okay.
Woo!
And there we go. So we're gonna. Oh, I don't. Wait, did I never make my? Scott, why do you suck at life? Why do you suck, Scott? Let's just do it this way, and I'll add them one at a time. So it's gonna be /r 1d20 plus 2, and then a plus 1, then a plus 1, then a plus 1. Okay. You're clearly the plus 2, so you're the 21. And then the others are going to be 15, 14. Come on. And 6. Okay, and we're going to do this descending. In which case, Gallon goes first. Lame.
Fuck yeah.
What?
Hang on, what?
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 Hang on, what? That's
What?
cheating.
It's not cheating. It's a
You saw
D20
the
roll
results.
rolled open. It's D20 roll rolled open.
You saw the results
Do
and
you,
then
do
did
you
it.
want to use a luck die?
No, let him. He's only got one daddy's dice left. At this
Yeah.
point. This is a good waste for him.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah? You gonna let me get away
No,
with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you get away with that for now.
All right, cool. Because if you haven't acted yet in combat, you know what that means, baby.
We're not flat-footed, are we?
Oh yeah.
How does literally seeing the stuff, getting ready for combat, oh no, I'm flat-footed.
Because you don't know where the attack's coming from. You don't see them, bro. So you're seeing people up ahead. You're seeing people up ahead. You're seeing people up ahead. You're seeing people up ahead that are chopping down the trees. So they've got the axes on the left side of the river, chopping at the trees, and they've got ropes on the right side of the river, ripping and pulling them down. You get axes to the right side of the river, chopping down trees, and you get ropes on the left side, pulling them down. Yay, right? And that's represented by the two different axemen that you see are holding a one-handed axe on the little initiative tracker, right? Then you have two other groups. You have the archers, which I'm about to do in a second, and the guy that's got the axes in two hands. Cool. So the archers, they're not up ahead where that is. Obviously, they're aware that there's going to be people noticing sounds from thwack, 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 and whatnot happening. They're not just going to wait until you guys can fully prepare your own defense. They're going to start attacking you a little bit further back as you're even moving into their little trap that they have set up. So all of a sudden, you hear the twanging of bowstrings from the left and right side of the bank as shots are going to be taken at the people on the ship. Now, on the actual deck side of the ship, you're going to have the 6 guards that are actively on duty, Viggo and Gallon, as previously stated, and then just to finish off 2 more, you have 2 crewmen that are up there. So there's currently 10 people on the top of the ship.
Tristan say he was heading up to
Heading
the,
up.
the ship.
He'll be up there in 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Heading up. So he won't be a current target. Gallon, pick a number, and Neil, pick a number for Jake.
Between what and what?
1 and 10.
7.
1 and 10. I'm gonna go 3.
Okay. 1 and 10 are the non-corresponding. Can I get TTRPG to roll me a D10, please? Actually, I need the next 4 D10s to be rolled. Please and thank you. And then you're going to hear twanging of arrows as they're being fired. Let me prepare my actual attack roll. All right, 1 is a crewman. 10 is a crewman. Jesus Christ!
Oh, 10 guys not having a good day.
Oh, that might be juked down to a 9 if they're dead. Okay, and we need one more.
No, they can both shoot the same target. Like
yeah, but if they're dead, they're not going to shoot the same person again because remember it's asynchronously.
Well, yeah, but they're effectively they're firing at the same time.
But again, it's asynchronous in D&D, so you know. Okay, so poor crewmen are going to go. All right, here's the first shot with a 7 against that one crewman. I guess they're doing okay.
Oh, that 10 is not good. Oh no.
Well, at least not a critical hit.
Confirm.
Not a critical hit. I'll roll the damage in 1 second. D8. And then there's no modifier in this game.
V-Sword, why would you keep rolling?
Okay. So crewman is down, and then for we will juke the second 10 back to number 1, just to finish up where it belonged.
What are you doing?
There's another 2. Okay, that's a confirm. I'm not. Got roll damage.
That guy dead. So
yeah,
2 dead.
On. That guy took an arrow to the throat.
19 damage to somebody with 3 health points.
Christ,
yep.
19 damage.
Somebody with 3 health points. This person is actually dead, whereas the other one was in 0 health or dying. This one is DED, like dead. And then lastly, so that's number 1, number 10. Second number 10 went back to number 1, and the last one was for number 8, which was one of the crossbowmen. That's definitely a hit. 1d8 though. Oof. Oh. So warriors have D10 plus con. D10 is 5.5 plus con. Yeah, this person took a crossbow bolt. They're at 0 health points, so they're disabled, if you will.
They're hobbling off to try and get help.
They're dropped as they're sitting there and can in theory be saved. So 4 twangs kills 1 person, drops so kills 1 crewman, drops another crewman, and drops one of the crossbowmen pretty easily, with another one being a big whiff, because we like sniffing things here. After that is going to be Gallon's turn. So there's 4 shots from those people. Gallon's turn.
Okay, I am gonna take a shot. Can I see where the shots came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Mm-hmm. But go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to add those boys in there. I'm a dummy. 23, absolutely. You can see exactly where all 4 shots came from. This is one of the things I'm going to point out, though, with those 4 shots, sir, is that they're all somewhat behind cover, so that gives them a +2 to their.
Because it matters.
Cover, not improved cover. Which gives them a +2 to their AC.
That's okay. I'm gonna first of all use 1 charge of this to ignore cover.
Okay.
Wait, what? Oh,
that was your crossbowman.
What?
I was just rolling your crossbowman into the combat. You're good.
Oh, okay. And then I'm also going to channel 2 power points from Deep Crystal Focus into this shot. So I get an extra 2d6 of damage on this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hope this hits. Wait a second, I'm just trying to see math why something has a +1 on it that it shouldn't. No, that's correct. Never mind. Okay. So.
Oh, 19 was actually you. But unfortunately,
I
it's
was
a 20.
really scared at the 4.
It's a 20, not a 1920 with a longbow. That's sad.
I know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because that would have been fucking hilarious otherwise.
Yeah.
But so that hits?
Yep. Yeah, yes,
So
yes, yes. A 28 hits.
This damage and this damage.
So 16?
Yes.
Wait, did you expend focus?
Don't have to. I use power points with the look at deep crystal focus. As long as I have focus, I can expend 2 power points to give an extra 2d6.
Oh, okay. Oh, I understand. I see what you did there. 'Cause I see what you did there. Okay. Because it's D8 plus 1 from the from your feet. That makes sense. Okay.
And he didn't have the extra. I mean, he didn't matter with the AC in the end, but
yeah,
he didn't have the extra AC from cover. So this is dead center mass.
16 damage is definitely going to drop the target. Absolutely. Cool. So would you like to describe how that works with your bow?
So it actually, yeah. So with the braces and the PowerPoint.
Oh, wait, hold up. Deep Crystal Focus specifically says a thrown weapon. But you're using a bow.
Oh, you're right.
Because that's your bracers, isn't it?
Okay, then I guess I'll refund is that the same with the? I mean, just let me bring the.
Because it was like your special bracers. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that also only work with thrown weapons?
Yeah, it's bracers of accuracy allow you to make ranged attacks with extreme precision.
So ranged attacks. So that one still applies.
Yeah, this works for everything. Yep.
But in that case, I'll just expend a focus because I have 2 focuses.
Yeah.
My idea was I wanted to do a big impact start attack, so I'll expend a focus.
Yep, and it did the same result. My apologies.
Yeah,
sorry for being nitpicky. Take your 2 points back.
No, that's
and
good.
Go ahead.
It is it's a good point to make. So he gets down on one knee, he takes aim, and his almost like a little bit of energy goes from his braces onto the bow, and then when he lets go, the arrow almost feels like it fires much faster than like this bow normally fires, and it skims the edge of the cover, the tree that he's hiding behind, and just impales this person dead center of the chest, and he just onto the ground with force. So there was an extra large amount of force behind it.
And definitely from where they are up in the trees, you can hear like the Wilhelm scream, like the Goofy scream, as they like fall out of the tree and hit and the leaves come flying up in the air as they hit the ground. Anyways, so yeah, absolutely, they drop. Anything else you can do in your turn there, sir? Because it was a swift action to activate your bracers, and that was your action. I don't know if you can do anything with your move.
I'm going to start moving back towards where I can go below deck, mainly because I feel like this is turning into a longer fight than I would have wanted, meaning I'm going to have to find somewhere to change. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, cool. So then this is going to be the first round of this axe person is finishing pulling down the trees and hacking away at the trees. So you can imagine some of this is people on the left, some of this is people on the right. As they're hacking away at a bunch of trees, ripping and pulling them, and you can see the trees just kind of giving way from where they were smacking at the trunks and pulling on the other side to pull these trees down, or cutting up roots or whatever it is, like we just previously discussed, and pulling them down so they drop down. In total, there's probably going to be 6 trees dropped in front of you guys, making it so again, you hit one tree, hits the next, and oh, look at that. You can't pass. You shall not pass. But the second group that's here, they're also going to, for the most part, they're going to wait a moment. I'm going to do one thing because I can do that at a range, but the rest of them are going to wait a moment. So that one thing I'm going to do is with your 23 perception check, Tash, and I'll allow Jake to go ahead and roll me a perception check as well, since he's up on the top deck. But what you notice, Tash, with your 23 perception, is you notice a little flicker of light a little bit up ahead in the woods. It's like, but the thing is, this little flicker of light that you noticed, and you do not, Jake, is it's kind of like dancing about. It's like moving very rapidly. This weird little flicker of light moving a whole bunch, and that little almost like almost like an LED light that's out in the darkness, kind of like moving about a whole bunch, right? Yeah. Again, like it's a small dot, not like it's a big like dome or anything like that. So it's not really illuminating much. That's dancing about. All of a sudden, you see it kind of gets a little bit of sparkly, And then a couple moments later, you notice there's something shimmering on the deck of the ship.
Oh shit!
And there's a lion on the ship.
I'm sorry. What?
There is a big cat on the ship. And you hear a call out from off the deck where that shimmering came from. Get him, Artie! In Perrin.
Hang on a second. That's evil, Scott.
I mean,
okay, that's not good.
I mean, I thought it was great.
Is this a flashback to the other night with Brett?
Why? What happened with Brett the other night?
You were like, well, I thought it was great.
Big oof. Ouch. Ouch. That hurt. Anyways. Cool. That's their turn. It's Tristan's turn. Tristan easily comes aboard the deck of the ship, to be clear.
Okay.
Where's Karok stabled at the moment?
Below deck.
Cool.
There we go. I was like, can I get a damn token up on the screen? I never wanted to. Go ahead, sir.
The problem, yeah, this is a problem because we can't just ignore what's going on there and be like, hey, by the way, we're with you guys, because then how the fuck do we end up getting down the river and explaining that? But also, what the fuck's going on and why
Doesn't all matter.
Let's use this dire tiger. That works.
I am going to quickly be right back.
Yeah, you're good, sir.
I mean, there's a lion on deck, right?
Correct. I'm going to roll some initiative right now.
Trash.
Has summoning sickness.
Tris will pull out his hammer, because this is not the place to have a lance. Bash it on his shield twice on the steel rim of his shield, and bellow a challenge at the lion.
What's my save?
Do you get a chance to save? That's the question. Challenging fire.
Nope.
Nope. He's challenged. That's it.
Okay.
So I get a -2 penalty to my AC. I'll pop that on. Except against attacks from the lion. Melee attempts to do extra damage. And then how far away from it is it? Is it from me?
So you can easily get to it within a move action. Finish running up the stairs and get your way over to it. Absolutely,
Okay.
you can.
I would do that.
Mhm.
And then I can't charge because I used a swift action, correct?
Mhm.
I
Still
will
charge
bonk
if you
it.
Use a swift action.
Can I?
What was that, sir?
If you use a move action, you can't.
But
But
okay.
if you charge as part of your move, you're good.
Could I charge as part of my move?
With you making the rest of the way up the stairs and whatnot, I will allow you to do so with an acrobatics check.
An acrobatics check. No, I'm not going to charge then.
Oh, you can do it. Do you have athletics? I don't think athletics is a thing in Pathfinder. It's not. Yeah.
It's not a thing. No.
Okay, so then you can move and attack.
Yep, I will move and attack. Let's bonk.
Okay, cool. That is a good attack roll, sir.
Let me just see how much extra damage challenge adds. Let me just plus level in melee damage. Okay. And I've got +1 AC versus target. Yeah, so I actually have a +1 AC against it. Cool.
Okay.
Oh, wait, what level am I?
I'm hoping to maul you, but it's going to be.
I've got
difficult with
+2
summoning
AC
sickness.
against it. Yeah, cool.
Beautiful.
Right. I will charge it and I will deal damage, and this will be with an extra. How much damage for? So let's just add that. Sorry, I've not done combat for a while. Oh,
It's good. 15 points of damage. All right, nice. Anything else, sir?
Nope.
So all of a sudden you see shimmering light happening aboard the ship. Like you didn't notice what was happening across the way. All it is you notice as you're running up the deck, you see a weird shimmering light happening on board the ship. So you can't even quite get your bearings as to everything that's going on. You just, of course, your attention is drawn to that. So you jog your way across, and that shimmering light starts to take shape of a large cat. And then you hear somebody off deck yell, "Get him, Artie!" and Perrin. At the same time that you look down, and all of a sudden the shimmering light goes away, and there's a fucking lion standing there on the deck of the ship that's just like, roar, roar. You just pick up the speed and you start like looping your way over there with your hammer out, and you just smash this thing before it even is able to get its full bearings and about it, completely throwing off its senses because it rolled a natty 1, making it lose its first turn.
Nice.
Awesome. Anything else for your turn, Tristan? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Cool. This is going to lead to the 6 archers, but one of them's very injured, so that kind of like drops down, with the arrow sticking out of their chest. So they're trying to like drop down to not die. But the other 5 archers are going to line up and try to take their shots at the people up ahead. So
you mean the crossbowmen, yeah.
Correct, the crossbowmen.
Cool.
So they all have light crossbows, so they can reload as a move action and then take aim and fire. With that being said, I'm going to allow, let's see, Snaga, you want to roll me a d20, please, sir, for their attack roll.
Who's been rolling the lowest? Snaga.
What? No, I would never. Why would you even suggest that? God damn it! And a crossbow's a 1920. No, crossbow's a 1920. That's a chance for crit.
Woo! Fuck yeah.
So Snaga needs to roll again?
Yeah. Well,
my crit, maybe.
Well, so previously we allowed like one of the shots to hit with that. So if we get through the concealment, so that'd be good for some of them. So we'll allow Norby. You want to roll me that D10? If it is a 2 or an 8, they miss. Please and thank you. In the meanwhile, so they're lining up their shots, getting ready to take fire at the peeps. And we'll do the damage right here. Okay, no misses. So slash R, it's gonna be 2d8 for the crossbowmen. This is the ones that crit. So not like crazy amounts of damage by any stretch of the imagination. So definitely hurt the people that are up ahead working on chopping down the trees, but don't drop them. And then for the ones that weren't crit against. Oh. Everybody's more or less equally injured. It was just a solid damage across the board. Don't drop anybody, but oh god, you hurt them something fierce. Wow, that was good. That was good. Good round. Wow, holy shit. All right, like I said, the thing has doesn't have its wits about it because you smashed it pretty hard to roll 91. So it's not going to be able to axe the first round according to our home rule. And Viggo, it's your turn. You're able to witness, of course, everything that's transpired. You just didn't see the little shimmering light. But of course you did hear, "Get him, Artie."
Yeah, I am going. I have a question for you.
Sure.
If I were to disappear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I? What brings me out of invisibility? Like attacking would, obviously, right? But if I start getting to work on the guy that was downed, would that bring me out of
anything aggressive?
Invisibility.
So, but if you mean like healing, yeah, you could do that, no problem. Anything aggressive?
It depends how aggressively you're healing him.
You like pull the arrow out too hard and it does damage. Ah, fuck.
Yeah. So you see Viggo, he takes something out of his jacket, puts it into his mouth.
Wake up, damn it!
He goes, disappears from view, and then you kind of see the body on the ground kind of gets dragged a bit, put in a different position, and probably the clothes around where there's a arrow or whatever just gets ripped, then I'll start trying
It's
to
pretty
save
sus, dude. It's pretty sus.
it. It depends where he got shot. You know what I mean?
It disappears and a fallen man starts getting straight.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
Wow, Neil.
Thank you very much. I would like to make my heal check. Thanks, Scott.
You go right ahead. Except if I remember correctly, you don't actually roll heal, do you? You do something else to them, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see whether we can get him back up.
You're fucked.
He knows all about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The nature documentaries.
I'm sorry I'm like this, Jake.
And here we are. We got Viggo in the wild.
Scott's just egging me on. It's him. It's just like him with what's his face, Mr. Chode.
Leave Isaac alone. He's a good boy. I'm a good boy. I am.
Sure.
All right. With your 28, you are successful, sir. What were you trying to do again?
Save the guy's life.
So his first aid.
That's a hell of a roll.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So you're good. You're able to kind of like, break off the arrow. So you kind of like, push it through, snap off the arrowhead, and then put gauze on the backside as you start slowly pulling out the thing. And you have somebody else or you get something to, strap, like hold the pressure there. I imagine you with your one hand hold the pressure there. Then you continue to slowly pull out the other arrow because you don't want anything to splinter inside of them. So, slowly pull it out. And as soon as you get out, you drop it and you have gauze on this side. I imagine you go and get like a bit of leather strapping or whatever it is. And you quickly do like almost like a belt, tighten it to hold the gauze on both sides. And just let them know, like, just stay here. As you stand back up. Maybe not stand up. Yeah, maybe not do that.
Maybe not stand back.
Look, fuck you, Scott. I will stay underneath. Thank you. Look.
There's like a volley of arrows, and then just like 3 of the arrows to stop halfway to the boat, halfway onto the boat. It's like, hang on, what?
Oh, the Wilhelm.
Yeah, just the Wilhelm.
No, you gotta do the goofy. Yeah.
And then Viggo appears.
The slave soldier looks at you and goes, "I ain't returning the favor." Look. Anyways, so you after you is going to be the rest of the ones that are again chopping and pulling and whatnot, finishing the dropping of the 6 trees or so that are blocking your pathway, so you're not going to be able to make your way all the way up there. This brings us to the top of initiative again, which is going to be the archers again. The archers are going to have a little bit more fun this time. Obviously, they're able to see a bunch of archers, Gallon, so on and so forth. So let's share the love a little bit here. We're able to see that Gallon, of course, took a shot at one of the archers and killed them. I think there's 3 archers left. So they're all going to pinpoint their aim at Gallon. So you have 3 attacks against you, sir.
Okay.
I have no idea what your AC is. We're going to find out the old-fashioned fun way.
He killed Johnny! It's him!
Uh-oh. It's not 6.
He's like, let's have him. And as he raises his bow, just like plinks into the guy next to him, and he's like,
first of all, what's his name? Joey asked an important question in chat, and natty ones don't do anything extra. Don't forget, because we don't have crits.
No, I didn't get to downstairs. I said I'd move towards the entrance to do it. My plan was to basically take a shot this turn, run down and change, come back up next turn as the crystal.
as Superman.
Because you're not changed. Your AC's lower, correct?
Correct.
So it's a 16 hits.
Nope.
What?
It's 17.
Even without your crystals on?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
you have a dex of 15, don't you?
I got the dex. Yeah. I got the dex upgrade specifically to change it from, so I had 1 extra defense 1 extra.
So I want to roll Daddy's dice just to hit him.
You don't get to do that after. You know the result. You asked the result before.
Yeah, that's very true.
You asked the result. Yes.
But you could Daddy's dice this one. You've only got one left, Scott. Go on, you could do it. You could hit him.
Yeah, that hits.
Yes.
Now he's out of Daddy dice. Sorry, Tesh.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That's going to be the factor that drops Tesh later. And Neil was the one that orchestrated it.
It's okay, 3 damage. I'm not too fussed about that.
He can take it.
Do you actually take 3, or do you only take?
I don't have DR when I'm not in the crystal.
Okay, good. I was hoping for a big hit, but a whopping 3. 3 is like you heal that overnight without any help. All right, that's my whole turn. Gallon, it's your turn, sir.
Hey, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to expend 1 more point on the gauntlets to shoot the guy who just shot me.
Like, fuck me? No, fuck are you?
no, fuck are you?
It's just literally this battle is just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh, that's
Okay.
quite a large fuck you, though.
That'd be a really good whistling arrow, though. Like one that's like, fuck you.
Let me just double check something real quick. I don't want to add an extra point of damage that I shouldn't be adding.
You naughty boy. Adding extra points of damage.
Nope, that one is not within 30 feet, so that one's fine to add. It's the psionic shot damage that just has it for having psionic focus up.
Oof.
I covered
8.
the total, so hold on, I have to see what it is over here. 8 total, okay. So 8 points of damage. This is an uninjured person as of now. So they take the 8s. That does not drop them. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna head down into the first room I can find that I've been on this boat long enough to know if a room.
You
is
just
gonna have-
drop down. You like go knocking through a room that has a bit of storage or whatever inside there, and
Yep.
you're
Close
there,
the
no
door.
problem.
Swift action.
Yep.
Suit on.
Cool. After that is going to. It's only swift action to get your suit on. You want a light suit?
Yeah, I'm going the light suit.
Cool. And then that's going to be Hammer Boy. So it's hammer time. This crew, now that the trees and whatnot are dropped, they're kind of changing up their tactic now. They have like little grappling hooks and whatnot set up to be able to set with the actual ship. So as you guys are continuing to move over the ship, they actually go and take the grappling hooks and they toss them out to the actual ship itself, just like kind of like grappling onto the bow of the ship. And they quickly, as soon as it like grapples onto it, they grab the ropes and they do like a double run around one of the trees that's there to kind of like, make sure like really secures this thing on the tree, allowing a good amount of tension and whatnot. And then they'll tuck the rope into the into it, so it's like a loop, and then tuck it in, so they're not like necessarily still holding on to it, allowing them to still continue to take like improved cover from behind the tree from you guys. So not just regular cover, improved cover as they're actively defending themselves now. So it was an action was to throw the rope, the grappling hook out there, and then a move to go around the tree, tuck it in, and then just stay on the other side of the tree. That's their whole turn. They do nothing else now. This group, which beforehand you saw Wandy, Casty, which we're going to get to in a second. Something slightly different happens this time. Also up inside trees, like the archers were before, you start to see people start to swinging out to drop down and onto your thing. However, for them to do this, they actually have to succeed a DC 10 acrobatics check to pull it off. They do have a rank in it, and they are class skills, and they do have a dexterity of 12. So they have a +5. It's a pretty solid chance.
That's
but
2
it's
fails ink right now.
That's a DC 10, and there are 4 of them. So can I have 4 D20 rolls in chat, please? You have to roll at least a 5 to get your crew member on the ship. Please roll at least a 5.
I'm manifesting a lot of 4s.
Thank you, Joey.
Damn it.
There you go. Ooh, thank you, Lil. Lilu, sorry, I said
Come on,
Lil.
someone roll a 4.
All right. In the meanwhile, the
Yes!
Norway, come on, Norway. Oh, thank you, Peace Sword. All right.
It's just like he slips off the rope and just like headbutts the side of the boat as he goes.
I imagine in my mind, Norway was sitting there like, excellent.
He's like, banditry doesn't pay.
V Sword, why'd you waste that natty 20? You could use that to kill them a little bit. Anyways, so iMagic is with that too. It's not that they didn't. It's not that they went into the water. They went by. They completely missed it. Clipped their leg or whatever it is, and they kind of like held on, and they're swinging back and forth, and they're still on the rope. So they're kind of like a swinging target at the moment. That being said, all at the same time they go swing onto the ship, and I'll have them do their attacks in a moment. We also have the person. The casty person is over there, and once again you start to see like a little focus of light happening over there. But that little focus of light that you notice, instead you see like it almost looks like a bluish kind of glow that very quickly starts moving towards you, Lot. But as it's moving towards you, Lot, you see it expands outwards very quickly. It opens up, so as it starts flying very unerringly towards you, Neil, all of a sudden the blue light separates to being a blue ball coming around the left, a blue ball coming around the right, and a third one coming over top around the lion and hitting into you for. Can you guess how much damage?
It's one of these.
Magic missile damage.
12 points of damage, sir.
Ooh. Someone on TikTok pointed out that magic missile is effectively power word kill on commonest.
We've corrupted Norway. He just said Neil just got blue balls. I just clicked over and I was like, wait, who said? Oh, Norway.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right, cool. So after that is going to be, so my apologies, and then it's going to be their attacks. So where it is that they land, I'm just going to have these ones attack the crossbowmen that are down there. So it's going to be, I don't need to roll all of them individually. I'm just going to do their attack rolls. Hold on, let me just do some. Yeah. So I'm going to do all of their attack rolls against them. And here we go. All one roll. Oof. 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 So the crossbowman, one of the cool things about Stalingrad crossbows is not meant for just ranged weapons. Stalingrad crossbows are also meant to be like effectively the hooks, like the actual like cross piece of the crossbow is designed in such a way with reinforcements to also be able to deflect blows as needed. So when somebody comes swinging at you with a sword or whatever it is that they might have, you can easily, which I'll describe it in a second, they do it, well, they have short swords out and they're attacking with those. They're able to easily kind of like deflect those attacks, et cetera, et cetera. And then the butt end of a Stalingrad crossbow is reinforced with a bit of metal to be used as a bludgeoning weapon as needed. So this is like an all-in-one weapon, right? Cool, yay. Moving on. These 3 out of 4 figures drop in onto the boat instead of immediately attacking crossbowmen to no avail. They're prepared for it. Tristan, it is your turn.
I think this will be the best option. So Triss literally just ran up and smashed this lion in the face, and it looks dazed and stupefied. During that time, while it is regaining its senses, once he's just been blue-balled, thanks Norway, he will raise his hammer and let out a bellow.
In a lion's face?
I know, that's so perfect.
Come on.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
So all allies within 60 feet get a competence bonus on their saving throw equal to my charisma mod, which is +1, and a +1 competence bonus on attack rolls for a number of rounds for 4 rounds.
Wow.
So all of the archers, all the Viggo, Gallon, any crew on the deck all get that. There's no limit on the number.
But this is a standard action, so you don't get...
This is a standard action, so I will not be attacking after them.
Oh, okay. Do you have a move or swift or anything you can do with that?
I'd like to whistle for Karok, but I'm not sure whether he can make it up.
Oh, Karok is one of those things where if Karok is supposed to be chained a certain way, you're like, yeah, he's totally chained that way. You know, because you all also know that Karok will stay put as needed.
Yeah.
And if you whistle for him, he'll come. If you want to whistle for Karok, he'll just have to kick open the door to do so.
Yeah, I'll whistle for Karok then.
Sure. Could you go ahead and roll a strength check for Karok?
Oh well. Just flat strength, yeah?
This music is perfect for the moment.
Ooh, not so great.
Are you happy with that roll, or do you want to affect it?
Not particularly, but I also don't want to luck it.
Why not? She's a luck die, man. You get Karok up here. Karok whoops some ass.
Karok will whoop some ass, but
well, then luck it, man.
No.
Lucky. Come on, chat. Can we get some luck in chat, please? Just give us some of those fuzzy dice. You know, like Neil's blue ones.
No, we cannot. We must not. It is forbidden.
Oh, fine. It's forbidden to give Horsey some luck. Good, I'm gonna kill it then. All right. After that is going to be the archers' turns. So look at them fuzzy dice. So the archers' turns. They're going to go ahead and start trying to counter the people that are fighting against them. So there are 3 members on the ship. There are 5 archers. The 3 that are immediately fought against are going to immediately kind of like engage into melee with them. The other 2 are going to shoot at the person, kind of like swinging back and forth as a target.
He's the crossbowman.
Correct.
That guy is confident in himself.
They all have +1.
So what did I give them? Yes, to give them +1 before, so I have to remember. It was first level warrior, styling rug, crossbow. So you have +5 now.
Oh boy.
Oh baby.
Okay. So they have a pretty good time attacking, and just against the guy that's swinging back and forth.
Oh, that guy. He's right to be confident.
Yep. Okay. So he's going to take 2d8 from the 2 crossbows that actually hit him. 8 points of damage does not drop him, but does make him let go of the thing, and he falls, taking an amount of damage equal to... Vsword, you want to go ahead and roll me a d6 in chat, please? And the other ones are going to... take this. Known to have horses popping onto their ship. That's funny. Anyways, take 4 points of damage. Still injured. Not the best. All right, cool. That is going to be... Oh, Neil. You didn't finish the lion, the tiger, or the bear. Oh, my. It's now the lion's turn.
Didn't they roll a 91 on its initiative? So it doesn't move?
Which is why it didn't move last turn.
It didn't do anything last turn, yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're summoned in, is there... it's not the next round? It's that round?
No,
correct. So the way summoning spells work is you act immediately when summoned.
Okay, yeah, the negative for summoning is the actual person summoning has to do a full round action to summon. The idea is once the summon's there, it goes immediately.
It's actually one step beyond. That's a 1 round action to summon, but that's still what he's saying applies.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to bite you. No, first I'm going to try to claw you, Neil. My apologies. 1d20 plus. Let's double check my modifier. Cool, bro. So first I'm going to try to claw you. I assume that hits.
That's a miss.
That's a miss with your updated AC?
My AC against other targets is 18. My AC against it is 21.
Okay. I knew you had challenged it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a miss. All right. Let me try to claw you a second time. It's worse. Fine. Let me try to...
Same, you have no daddy's dice, Scott!
I'm going to try to bite you instead, you mother... Oh. God. God damn it! Bite means I could have grappled and then raked you. With a K. To be clear, with a K. Because that would have done so much extra damage. That's so upsetting. That's its whole turn as it tries to bite you and tries to claw at you, and the whole time you're blocking and defending and bobbing and weaving, and my kitty got nothing.
Yes, at the end of the day, it really is just a big cat.
I'm sure that's not the word you meant to say. So, after that is going to be Viggo's turn. I missed. Okay. Seriously? Where's my daddy's dice?
Well, don't you be begging? Don't you be begging, Scott?
Kitty, why aren't you hooking me up? Aren't you my girl? I know. Ooh. You like Neil better. Really, Viggo?
New buyer.
Really?
Yep. And then I'm gonna move to a spot that's more gives me more view while I'm not in direct danger.
So to be clear, he is both invisible and has like a 20 AC.
Yeah, nothing's gonna touch me.
Hey, I have a cover. I'm a merchant that hired bodyguards. Right?
Yeah, no, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
I think
I
this
just
is
need you to dive in the way when the
brand.
next magic missile comes to me.
Well, it's like I mean, I could transform and attack the lion. You know what I mean? But
no.
I'm not going to.
I know what I'm doing. Great.
Yep.
What you're doing is great. I
saved that one guy's life, and now I'm hiding.
Figure out where the magic's coming from. That could be something you could like.
Well, I was gonna ask if I was able to see it because it happened this round.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Because you're gonna be able to see where it came from. Let's be 100% about that, but what you can see.
Oh boy.
So yes, not only do you see where the magic came from, the direction, you look over that way, and you can clearly tell, and I mean clearly because you can make out the details and whatnot, that is a Perrin person over there that's casting the spells. Now, Perrin doesn't mean anything because obviously Perrin is a race, right? So I don't mean Paradise soldiers. But you see a Perrin person over there that is casting spells. Now, the person casting spells, they do have a book out in their hands that they're using to cast the spells.
They can read.
So they're a wizard, obviously.
They can read.
But similar to the other people in front of you, it doesn't look like they're wearing any form of uniform or anything like that. They're just, bandits out attacking you. All right, cool. Next is going to be this crew. They're doing the same thing as the other ones, throwing out the ropes onto the ship. Clink, 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 running around the thing and tying it up.
I'm no longer there to be a target.
And this is going to set it up so that you can, they can now next turn be able to get onto the ship. Cool. This brings us back to the top of initiative with the archers. So the archers, to which there are still 3 because you didn't drop that other one, you did heavily injure them. They're going to take 3 more shots. Beforehand, they choose to shoot Galen, but Galen bravely ran away. So they're instead
I'm coming back.
They're instead going to shoot at Tristan. Fun fact, Tristan, your AC is not an 18 against them. It's a 22 because you're engaged in melee with the lion. But they don't really care. Like, I wish I could just be like, I don't want the -4, but mechanics say it has to be there. So
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the rules. So I have a +5. No, because they're all engaged in melee. Why would they want to accidentally shoot their own friends? They don't care if they shoot a magically summoned lion, Joey. All right, cool.
Did you just call Joey a magically summoned lion?
Oh my god.
Do you guys see how often I roll 1s lately?
You did roll 2 20s at the beginning.
Fair. I did get a couple in there.
But it goes to me, right? Because it's...
Yep, that definitely hits you. That's good news.
No, because we got... That's 22.
AC is you meet it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not a opposing check. You would be correct if it was an opposing check.
Yep, so it's going to be 1d8 damage against you, sir. Because I had a modifier. Oh,
3 as well.
Jesus, why can't I get an
3
8?
damage, buddies.
I want to hurt you. I want to make you bleed. Anyways, unfortunately, that is their whole turn. Gallon, you come back out your door.
So
You step out of your telephone booth.
I do. I would also probably yell because you said there were people downstairs sleeping, like there was other crew members.
Yep. So the other crossbowmen are going to be coming out with the next crossbow turn.
Oh, okay, cool. So they're already coming. That's fine. Then I'm going to head upstairs.
Wait a minute. Let's see.
So I assume I can get to a point where I can easily throw some shards at this lion that's currently got Tristan occupied.
So as a reminder, because as you're running up the stairs and you see this lion there, you can take a shot at it, but it is engaged in melee. And it's on the other side of Tristan because he ran directly towards it. So it's soft cover from Tristan and it's engaged in melee.
But you do have +1.
Would you say I could once again use this and get rid of the cover?
Absolutely, yep. So you get rid of the 4 difference.
Just disappears. Just
you don't have precise shot or whatever it is that gets rid of the melee aspect, do you?
No, that I'm going to be getting that, but in a while's time because I've got some other things I need to get first.
So as opposed to me imposing a -4, which is what it's supposed to be, I was just assuming its AC is normal, so you roll normal.
Okay,
its AC is higher, sorry. So its AC is a cool. So understand whatever you're rolling against, this is with a +4 because it's engaged. Go ahead.
Well, don't I ignore the cover bonus?
Yeah, it's actually an 8-point swing. Soft cover is 4, but you can go around that by maneuvering. It's just you can't maneuvering right now. You can't do the maneuvering now.
Okay,
not maneuvering. You can't do the maneuvering at the moment.
It's the manpower that's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. This time I will, in fact, channel 2 power points into it with Deep Crystal Focus.
Okay.
Because I'm using a throwing weapon and I'm going to hit it with a crystal.
And you're going to not use your second sonic focus, correct?
No, I'm not. And I'm within 30 feet of it, right?
Perfect. Yep.
You have a +1 competence bonus from Lion's Call.
Yep. So I have a +11 to hit.
And he rolls a 2.
Oh, wow.
Here's the big question with that result right there. Are you satisfied with the 16? Understand again, it does have effectively a +4 from the engaged in melee.
What do you guys? I mean, I expended some points, so.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, Lilu.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it just because I expended the psi points this time. I won't need to do it in the future. That's 18.
18
That's
misses.
Really close. Oh,
I'm sorry. What?
Is that with your? Is that with
includes
your
the 4 point? It includes the +1 from Neil. Does that include the +1 from precise shot? Sorry, from point blank shot? Because you have point blank, don't you?
It does. I've added all the different modifiers.
Yep.
So that, I mean,
doesn't count as flanking either, does it?
Wait, hang on.
It's not flanking because he's shooting.
It has 18 AC.
No, it will have a 4.
It'll have 15 AC.
15 AC +4.
It'll have 15 AC at least.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. Sorry about that. And that's just because of the fact that, again, and just so you know, Tesh, the way it actually works is cover adds to AC, attacking into melee. These are penalties to your attack roll. I just threw it at AC for simplicity.
To be fair, though,
just an 8-point swing. Yeah,
you haven't lost Deep Crystal Focus because it stays charged for 1 minute or until it scores its next hit.
That's actually, you're right. Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
So you've spent the points, but you haven't actually lost them.
I forgot it's like that. The reason why I thought it was like that is my other one works where I expend my
beforehand,
focus,
correct.
and it's either way. So that's good. Okay,
Correct.
never mind. I can still use that.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's move on. So unfortunately, you move up, you throw your single attack. It does nothing. Is that it? Nothing swift?
I believe that's
actually was
all
swift. Cool.
Yeah.
And I think that was
That's
your
it.
last charge, wasn't it?
That is my last charge. I can no longer
that makes me happy.
do anything.
All right, cool. Now it's going to be the axe people that had thrown the ropes around last time. So now what their job is to also get onto the thing. So these ones had taken shots from the archers beforehand. So they're going to start with the ropes that they had tied up to set it so the ship is going to be held a lot more stable. So not only is it running into a whole bunch of the what's what I'm looking for, the trees that were pulled down to stop the thing. This actually is also applying attention sideways to hold the ship so it's steady. So it has equal tension on both the left and right side, the starboard and port, right? And now they're actually going to be jumping onto these ropes from how they were tied onto the tree, and with their axes in hand, they throw their axe over the rope, grab it on both sides, are going to start like swinging onto the ship to make their way onto there. This is, again, technically speaking, they have to make an acrobatics check. This is an even easier one to pull off. I'll set this DC just so any natty 1 would cause them to fail. I'll set it as a 7 because we know they have a +5. So natty 1 would fail. Steve got the first one. Can I get okay, there's a success. Just need another 1 more.
Oh, I'm so close.
Okay, all 3 succeeded. And so they're onto the ship. And, you can imagine it's not exactly an easy move going on there, but they're also not traveling much of a distance. So even though they're traveling at half speed to get onto the ship, they're able to get onto the ship and immediately be able to attack some of the archers that were there beforehand. So these archers that you have, just for narrative purposes, they start attacking at them, and now they're being outnumbered. 2 or 3 to 1. So 2 more of the crossbowmen are unfortunately kind of like hacks down because of these people attacking them. Yay! Whether or not they're actually dead, we can worry about that later on. They might be able to be savable by you, Jake. This gets us to the crew that had already swung on board beforehand. So remember, there are 3 of these on here currently. There are 3 of the other ones on here. So there's 6 crewmen and a lion on the ship as of right now. So these 3 crewmen that are currently on board, they're going to make their way, continue attacking the people that they're fighting beforehand. And once again, numbers aren't working in their favor of the crew that's aboard the ship. So we're going to say that, there were originally 6, 1 got shot and dropped. Another, between these 2 rounds, we'll say 3 more of them get hit and dropped, leaving 2 of these crewmen left. They're going to get reinforcements in a moment. But the important thing is that this person has their the ability to cast their spell. So once again, you see a single blue light appear, and this blue light starts streaming across the battlefield. But they're going to do something a little bit different. They're going to test the waters. Neil, 2 blue lights come flying across the battlefield and hit you, hitting you for 8 points of damage, and then 1 is going to go and hit Tesh. They test the waters and see how it works with Tesh.
That actually does no damage.
Let's see. It's magic, not physical, but your DR2 is hyphen, so it's against all. It's force damage. Technically, what it is force damage. So you do take it because it's not physical damage; it's force damage. So you do take it. The DR2 is against physical damage, so piercing, slashing, bludgeoning. Not against magical sources. So you take 2. And Neil, you took the 8. Cool. That's going to finish their turn. This brings us to Tristan's turn. Tristan, would you like to whistle for Carrick one more time?
Is this a free action?
Yeah.
So what is it says 2/-. So does that mean just physical
damage? Correct. Damage reduction is for physical damage.
I didn't know that.
Correct. So if somebody was burning you at fire, it wouldn't have an effect. Electricity wouldn't have an effect. Same as force, which is a damage type, wouldn't have an effect.
I would like to whistle for Carrick again.
Okay. And you can go ahead and roll a Carrick strength check, and then you can take your turn. So it's a 16 total with the strength check. Are you comfortable with that strength check, sir?
Use a luck if you want. We've got some to spare.
Anno's watching. Make the right decision.
I'd rather save them. Like, this would be nice to get him up there, but it's not imperative.
Well, unfortunately, a 16 is enough to kick down the door.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So, Carrick, kind of like leans up on its hind legs and does like a, what are they called? Like a bucking kick. I get what they're called when it's from the backside. And just the door comes flying open. And Carrick, starts to back that ass up and does like a 3-point turn and starts, making his way towards the deck.
Cool.
Bat battle. Flutter.
So he'll take some time to get to me anyway. Scott. He'll take some time to get to me when.
Yeah, he will be up on the deck of the ship by the end of his turn. So he'll be on the boat. He'll be up on the deck. So you can even, in theory, mount him right now, because he has a lot of move, and he moves at half speed. So you'll be able to get up there, and you can move over to him and mount him, but you won't be able to continue moving as him at the moment.
Okay, I won't move over to him. I'll wait here because I don't want to take any attacks of opportunity, and I want to hit the lion.
Perfect.
So I can with a. Let me close that. Character sheet's balkened. Sometimes they go funny. With my swift potion belt, I can, with a swift action, drink one of my cure light wounds. So let me pop that down. And that's down to 6. And what is a cure light wound? 1d8 plus 1, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
/ roll 1d8 plus 1.
Womp womp.
Well, that feels pretty Scott, man. And then he will once again hit the lion over the head with the pick.
Are you going to do it normal, or are you going to activate your hammer fever?
That's tempting.
I mean,
Let me just have a look. What does one do? Level 4, yeah?
Jesus, I don't know.
No.
You don't want to
I
bonk
think-
the kitty?
I mean, I do, but like a level 4 is all in line attack 5d8.
I mean, you don't know how much health that lion has.
No.
It is a lion. It's not.
Yeah, it's the lion. It's pathetic.
Sure.
I'm gonna bonk it.
Has a +7 chance to hit. That's
I'm
a
gonna
pathetic
bonk him.
creature.
Bonk.
You bonked it.
Bonk.
Oh, you bonked it.
Can you imagine
13.
if I crit? Look at the crit damage on that. Isn't that terrifying?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you have a second attack?
No, because if I wanted a second attack, I don't get one yet. I don't get one until... No, I don't. Let me check when I get one, just for interest.
Level
But you
6, I
can
think.
carry on. Yeah,
That was 6. Guess what? Lion is still standing.
I thought so.
Okay, cool. Let's push through this round because I have to leave in 9 minutes. I have to take a shower because I did not shower after I got home last night. I needed sleep.
Stinky boy.
So I need a shower before I go to work. Work all day.
Filthy
All right.
Stinky boy.
So after this is going to be after Tristan, who Carrot came upstairs, and you have Tristan there bonk the lion. It's going to be the archer's turn. This is where things get interesting. Carrot comes up the stairs, clearing the way of anything that might be in the way, as a ton of archers come up the stairs as well. They all come filtering up. And the archers aren't taking too kindly to the fact that there is a bunch of people on the boat. So the leader of them, whose name I told you earlier is
Leeton.
Leeton, thank you. And the other 11 archers come aboard, and he more or less points at the bow of the ship where there's a bunch of people, including the crew that just got cut down. And it says, and of course, Tazian, volley men, ready, aim, fire. And then it's one of those things where they just kind of like line up their arrow and this like,
Except
drop
it's
a
crossbows,
volley into
so they
that
all
arrow.
just go.
Well, yeah. Yeah, good point. Straight across volley. By the way, everybody kind of dives down for a moment.
Crossbow volley. They're like.
Like, wait for it. Wait for it.
By the time it falls down, it just tinks off people's helmet.
Either way. So they take aim, they fire. For the sake of their reflex saves, Who in chat should we have roll? Oh no, go ahead and roll me a d20. And who else is evil? Joey, go ahead and roll me a d20. Oh! Oh, Arno just gave you a gimme on that one.
Oh! Feast and famine.
I'm sorry.
I just whacked myself. Oh! Ow!
Scott down.
Dear.
I just dropped my arm. I smashed myself with my own hand.
Dear.
Oh,
I do enjoy his
boy.
suffering.
We up a few octaves. Oh.
Stop
Ow. Anyways, so for the volley, it's going to be for those that failed. Nice. Don't forget, some of these people had already been injured beforehand. It actually dropped several of the crew members there, and then the ones that succeeded take half the damage, whopping 4. So you see several of the crew members. So there's 6 aboard the.
I want to ask you to differentiate between the word crew member, because you've given that word to both the enemies and allies.
The brigands.
Thank you.
Okay, this is actually. I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. That the crew got a 1 and the enemies got a 20.
So anyways, no, because remember the crew had already been dropped over there where they're taking aim and firing, right? So the brigands, you can see of the 6 of them, they're aboard the ship because this attack and everything that happened there. 3 of them dropped, the other 3 of course injured, which is good news. This leads us to the lion, who you're still standing in front of the lion. Summons creatures don't have the same kind of like fear that a regular creature does, so it doesn't just like turn around and run away. It keeps fighting because it's a summoned creature, so it doesn't make sense for it to just turn and run away. Claw you,
I believe. Yes.
Claw you.
Yes.
Bite you. Yes.
Hey,
No.
Yes. I bite you. Yes. Okay. First and foremost, I do my damage.
I bite you. I just have the image of a lion with Scott's face attached to my shin.
I bite
Just-
you.
Rawr.
Oh. Oh.
And then it has the grab feature, so I'm gonna roll my CMB against your CMD. I'm not sure what your CMD is, but eat this. Boom!
Holy
My
shit.
CMD is
Boom.
19.
And therefore I am able to rake, but I think raking only happens on my turn next time. I just instantly get to rake you. Give me 1 second.
AKA,
Okay.
I need to kill
With
this
a K.
thing before next
A
time.
creature with a special attack gains extra natural attacks under certain conditions, typically when it grapples its foe. In addition to the options available to all grapplers, the monster with the great rake ability, 2 free claw attacks it can use only against a grappled foe. The bonus damage attacks is included as in the description. Yep. So I get 2 extra attacks against you because you are raked because
right?
you grappled. Yep. So that attack is going to be this.
Wait, I thought it was next turn.
Nope. No, sorry. Now. On its turn. This turn.
But it's
So it gets 5 attacks in 1 turn just because it landed a single bite.
Correct. That 19 doesn't hit you. I don't think I got Daddy's dice. I just have to remind myself. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
All right.
well,
So
that's scary that it gets 5 attacks in a single
That
turn.
is terrifying.
hey, you could have bonked it hard. And Viggo, you take your turn, and then we got to do our outsies because I have to go to work. I have to go. I
Or
have to go,
you
like,
could not,
ASAP.
and we could play D&D for like 5 more hours.
Yeah, no. If I don't squeeze these hours like I don't have vacation time for Eric's bachelor party.
Why don't we just play until the Aussies drop? Come on.
We can do that next week, but for now, Jake, take your turn so I can go shower.
Quickly, has the boat hit the logs yet, or the trees?
It is hitting into them now. Yes. Why? What's up?
All right. How close is the bank?
Actually close enough that the people over there can just grab on and slide onto. So it's about 12 feet on either side at this point, which is why they chose here. 12 feet away on either side. It's held pretty equidistant.
How far away is the magic guy?
That person is staying a good, let's see, for summoning spells and whatnot. So stay a good 60 feet away in the woods. And there's like, cover from the trees.
Okay. Is he near the archers?
No, the archers are in the trees. They're actually a bit behind you now. Because they started shooting
cool.
early on.
But he's closer.
Yes. Well, 60 feet away, yes. Well,
yeah.
60 feet away, yeah, so including the 12 feet for the river, yeah.
Not that anyone can see it, but Viggo is staring at that book. Staring so much that he takes his mutagen and jumps off the side of the boat.
Okay. Which mutagen do you take?
Cast is just to be like, la-di-da-di-da.
Okay. You want to go ahead and make me an athletics check or acrobatics check is jumping? Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check. You can, because you stayed out of the combat.
Can I lower myself down?
No. I'm telling you, you can. It's only a DC 12 to jump 12 feet because you're gonna get at least a 10-foot running head start. You can actually easily do that, and you're actually dropping down, so you can actually have a bit of leeway.
Do that, though.
Oh no!
Doesn't your mutagen pump you up? Doesn't it make you good?
Yeah, but my acrobatics is only a 4.
Okay, will you make that
even
roll?
With mutagen?
Oh,
beautiful.
Nailed it.
Tesh, how can we find you? Why do we care?
Hi, I'm Tesh of the Tesh Tube under that name on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch for all the looter shooter needs: Destiny, Warframe, Fallout 76, and also Ark is something I'm going to be playing a lot of coming up, and Destiny especially because the new season is starting very soon, and I'm going to be playing a lot of that.
Beautiful. Anybody else want to say anything?
Hi, I'm Neil. You can't find me anywhere. That's right. I'm a resource you can only find here right now. I'd get up and slap my bum, but I feel like that might get Scott cautioned on Twitch. So,
Thank you, everybody. See you tonight. Twitch.tv/Lost Initiative, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gotta go to work. Bye.